All right. Let's see if it works this time so I can get the other streams going. All right, let me see what I can get. See if anybody comes in here. Been having trouble with the audio, so we'll see what happens. So we'll see. What I want to put somebody come in here that can tell me if it's working. Why the hell is this? Okay, we're in. Okay, let me know if you can hear me sound. Okay, sounds good. All right, there we go. There we go. All right, so give me a minute to get my other stream. I don't, like I said, I do not know why that's doing it. I have no clue. But for some reason now, every single damn time I log into YouTube, the default setting is no sound, and I'm not clicking anything to make that happen. In fact, all I do is have to reset my device, so when I log in the second time, the sound is on. So I don't know why that's happening. I don't know, but it's fucking up all my streams. So it's something YouTube related, but nevertheless, you guys can hear me. So give me a minute or so to get the other streams up, and we can indeed get the party going. How you guys doing? I think most of you folks, just like me, has had to return back to work. Yeah, I had 5 days off. Shit. And I didn't take any vacation, didn't go anywhere. So yeah, I actually got bored. I was ready to go back to work. But anyway, it is what it is. Normally you get 5 straight days off of work. You're super happy about it, but I was sitting around and I did come in here to talk to you fine folks, my beloved MAGA and my liberals, but um, shit. I think a couple of those days I never even got out of my fucking pajamas. I literally never got out of my pajamas, just sitting on the couch. And listen, during the day, I'm active. I have a job that there is. I'm moving around a lot. I drive, almost 100 miles a day. I'm getting in and out of the vehicle a lot at different, at my shippers and things like that. So, and there is some light lifting. I don't do a whole lot, but there's some light lifting what I do. So I'm busy. And to sit down for 5 straight days. Yeah, man. Not to mention you eating and shit, So I know I may have gained a pound or two, and I don't need to do that. Which is why I'm about to kick off some of these fucking what they call them Geo 1P shit. So you guys might start seeing me shrinking a little bit. I'm only telling this to you few folks that are on YouTube. Everybody else ain't joined yet. I'm still getting my other platforms up, but yeah, I ended up getting bored. I watched a lot of fucking sports. Christmas Day, I watched so many games. Obviously, my Bears lost last night. I'm salty about that. But yeah, just listen. 5 days on a vacation is nice, but you got things planned. You're going to tour. You're going to go out and see shit. Like I got a trip to Vegas coming up. I'm gonna tour. I'm gonna do stuff, but just to lay around for 5 straight days, I was like, damn, I'm ready to go back to work. So um, here it is. So I kind of wonder, like, when folks retire, certainly when you like early in your retirement, like, how do you keep yourself occupied? Because if I was retiring now, I don't know if I could take it. I would be bored. I'd have to do something. And I've always been one to say that if I had enough money, I would never work for entertainment purposes. I'm only going to work because I need to make money. If I'm making money, I ain't fucking going to work. But I never thought I would get as bored as I did over these weekends. But anyway, let me go ahead and see if my other streams work, and we should be able to get the live going. Asking a simple question: are we great again yet? Had a year of President Trump. President Trump has had all sorts of positive um, reports. President Trump has stated all sorts of positive shit about America. So I'm asking you folks, are we great again yet in your eyes? Do you feel that after 4 years of Biden, America has turned around and we are now great? I see Harlem World. Isn't that P. Diddy's group, Harlem World? Harlem World says, I'm retired. I smoke weed and travel. It's a good fucking life. I'm not a weed smoker, but I have always. dreamed of being able to do the RV thing. That's a good fucking life. To be able to travel the country, park your RV. Home is anywhere you fucking go. Um, Speaking of which, I used to live in a sprinter van. Did it for 4 years. When I came back, I was a what do you call it, an expediter. So when you ship stuff by truck, any of the skids that don't make it on the truck, you hire what they call a hot shot driver. That was me. Paid good money, paid really good money to do it. I did that for 4 years, and you live in your vehicle just like a truck driver does. I was all over the country, seen everywhere. But I was in a sprinter van. I was not in a semi truck. That's why you'll hear me often say I was an over the road driver. In fact, I have a video tour of what it was like in my van. I mean, it's called what is it called? Expediting in Comfort, and it's on my YouTube page. I give you a full tour. I had everything in there, a 40-inch TV, video game setup. Oh man, everything you can think of for just like a little tiny studio apartment in the back of a van, and it was really, really comfortable. I enjoyed it. Anyhow, nevertheless, we're checking in from Florida. Says Thomas William. Good evening, Florida. Grandma is crazy. Everybody knows Gangsta Grandma. Wow. It's crazy. I was a trucker, so I know the lifestyle. Yeah, Harlem, exactly. So I enjoyed the aspect of being able to travel the country and park my Sprinter van. I mean, I've been on Venice Beach. I've been at Disney World in Florida. I've been in the mountains. I've been in South Dakota. I mean, I've been every state of this country. And to be able to park your Sprinter van wherever you want to park it, open up the doors, lay in bed and stare at the ocean, stare at the mountains, wherever you want to be. You could literally park downtown New York somewhere as long as you can find a parking space, and that is your home for the night. I've slept in airports, Walmart parking lots, you name it, hotel park. I mean, because I had everything I needed in there. So for me, it was a good life. It was for anything. I had a microwave, a stove in there, a real bed. It's just a confined space. I kept about 6 or 7 days worth of clothes folded, and I was making money driving all over the country. So I didn't have any issue with it. And to be honest with you, I'd do it again. Now, being able to do it in a full size RV, that's even better. The only problem with a full size RV is you cannot park everywhere. And business leave on the outside, and I didn't have any windows on it, so you didn't know what was going on the inside. Anyhow, so let's get to the actual program. And I see Thomas Williams is saying Gangsta Grandma is crazy. Gangsta Grandma is a passionate viewer. Listen, a lot of times things are said on this program that many of my viewers on the right don't agree with. Gangsta Grandma leans left, and she don't agree with a lot of shit that we talk about either. Some of the things I say in regards to giving Trump credit for things that I think he has done great for the country or good for the country. She doesn't like that. She doesn't like my stance on me believing that, listen, if you're born a guy, you're a guy. I mean, she doesn't like that. There's a few opinions she disagrees with me on, but Gangster Grandma program. There's nothing wrong with having a different point of view. How the hell could you ever run a free speech show if you tried to censor people who had a different opinion of you, or in my case, even folks who come on here and tear me a new one? I don't mind that. I got, as I always often say, thinking an alligator without lotion. I got a thick skin. I can take it. So not a problem there. Crazy Grandma rocks, Tim. Don't ever get rid of her, says Leo Bliss. We won't. We won't. You've been to a KK meeting as a Black 60 or whatever. Do they still have those? I don't think I would be invited. So ask me, have I ever been to a KK meeting? I mean, I'm assuming there's a third K that you're missing, but I don't think I would be invited to that. I don't think that works like that. Well, I suppose I could go, but I would probably end up just hanging around, for the rest of my life. So I probably wouldn't want to go to a KK meeting. But continuing on with the program. And by the way, yes, I am Carl. You can hear that in the background. Wow, this device obviously has a very good microphone, because I do have my dryer going in the background. You can hear that. Anyway, absolutely not. Just blame Joe Biden for some reason. Look, Joe Biden is worthy of being blamed for things that he didn't look. When it comes to securing the border, I think Joe Biden deserves a heap of blame. Um, I don't know if he is he. I don't know if he ensured the nation well that he was a functional, capable president. I think a lot of folks believe that he was somewhat asleep at the wheel. Now, most of them are folks on the right, but even a lot of Democrats believe that Joe Biden was beyond his years of being capable of governing. So I don't know if you want to blame him for that. To me, the biggest fault. Now I'll start taking callers and going straight to the comment section. But to me, the biggest failure of Joe Biden, outright, out of all 4 years he was in office, the biggest failure of Joe Biden, by far, greatest failure I can ever think of that hurt the Democrat Party is him refusing to step down after that June 27 debate. Every single day that he remained was a day less for Kamala Harris to campaign or other Democrats. Democrats could have picked a viable candidate. I still believe that Kamala Harris was not the best choice. I get hammered on by Gangsta Grandma and everybody for saying Kamala Harris was a bad candidate. But I'll tell you this. You let me know in the comments yes or no. And I'm talking to my liberals on this one. Yeah! Miguel, shout out to you. Thank you for the hat mustache starting the program off right. Thank you. I'm going to say this, and this is mostly aimed at my liberals. I'm sure MAGA might have a different opinion, but to my liberals, I'm going to ask you if Joe Biden had been a one-term transitional president. Thank you, Miguel. Appreciate that. Shout out to you. If Joe Biden had been a one-term transitional president, meaning he announced ahead of time, I'm only here to do one term. My goal is to get this monster, referring to President Trump, to get this monster out of office and make sure he never comes. So I'm going to beat Trump. I'm going to serve one term. I'm asking you this simple question to all my liberals. Do you think if Biden had to serve one term and the Democrats were given a primary choice to pick a Democrat nominee, do you think it would have been Kamala Harris at the end of the day? Everybody from Andrew Yang to Christine Gillibrand to what's her name? Gretchen Whitmer of Michigan, Gavin Newsom, Shapiro. I mean, do you believe that if the Democrats had a chance among all of those candidates to pick their Democrat nominee, do you believe it would have been Kamala Harris? That's my question I'm asking. Because I am saying that to me, Joe Biden's biggest failure with Democrats was not being a one term transitional president. Simply put, he stayed and hung around too long and literally tied the Democrats' hand behind their back, where they had to throw Kamala Harris out there without giving the Democrats any choice. And you see what happened. A lot of Democrats didn't even show up to vote at all. Some of them even went in and voted for Trump. Anyway, so looking in the comments, yes, would have won, says Gangsta Grandma. You believe that Kamala Harris would actually beat all of the other Democrats that ran for the office. Really? Okay, let's have at it. Good evening, Gangsta Grandma. What?
Stand your black ass, cause you scary ass ninja.
How am I
You
scary?
scary. Because you wanted to add me yesterday, cause you know I'm gonna tear your black ass up.
I
You was all
was.
bitch over like a whole bitch to a white man. Now I'm not calling you a bitch. I'm calling the way you was acting like a whole like you be fluffing way
Okay,
too
wait a minute. Let me
much.
make something clear. Yesterday, it wasn't that I was running from you, darling. I had the
Yes,
Bears.
you was,
The Bears,
darling.
the Bears were literally starting to kick off. I wanted to see. I had money on the
Oh, be
Bears.
quiet. You know you're a chicken shit. Come on. Don't call me darling. I'm not white. Who does that shit? I'm for this shit. That's,
How the hell could that be happening already? Come on,
I don't
you
know.
got some
I'll
real
be
haters,
nice.
man.
I'll be nice.
That is fun.
No,
You
for
ain't
real.
you ain't done
I haven't even
nothing.
done nothing.
You ain't even done nothing
No.
yet. Damn.
But you be fluffing. Come on now, Timmy Tim Tim. You know you on your knees. And you're taking it like a G.
What is your definition of fluffing my?
Because you be like, Tim, I try to be hardcore with you so you get you some kahunas. You know what I mean? Because you let them come up here. And I know it's freedom of speech, but
Thank you.
misinformation is not freedom of speech. You allow them to talk all the misinformation. We have to fight that on some real crap. We have to fight it.
Well,
You know what I mean? That's why the blue is always constantly have to defend shit because they get all this misinformation.
well, speaking of fighting, let me ask you this because this came into the comments while you were talking. Harlem World says the Democrats do not have strong candidates for president. We dodged the big one by not having Tim Walz as vice president. So,
Let me tell you something. If we would have had her, we wouldn't be going through this stuff. We wouldn't be going to getting into wars and stuff. We would all this crap. We wouldn't be in. You know what I mean? People missing people getting their food stamps cut off, and you know what I mean. Like nurses are not professional no more. You know what I mean? Like, come on, all the education system. They want your kids to be dum-dums. That's what they want your kids to be. Because dum-dums will vote red. Dum-dums don't vote blue. The college educated, that is proven.
Are you indicating
college educated?
Are you indicating that Republican voters are not as smart as Democrat voters?
They're special ed dropouts, on God. They're special ed dropouts. They are interbred special ed dropouts.
And Leo plays Happy New Year's to you as well. Thank you very much for the support. What the hell make you say that all MAGA are special ed dropouts? What is that based on?
Did you see how they be acting and how they be riding on his dangling and how they be, bending down pretzels for this man. All this crap is coming out on him on Epstein files, and they're still writing for him. They don't care if he's a pedo or not.
Well, when you say
it's all about racism.
When you say they're special ed dropouts, Christine Bester, which is a woman, obviously, in the comments says you're talking about yourself.
I'm not a dropout. I went to college. I know what I see. Let me tell you something about us Democrats. We don't idle our presidents or nothing. You know what I mean? We don't idle them. We don't go and we call it out when it's bad. They don't. And that's what they call special ed dropouts. They believe everything the white man tells them. He can tell them to go jump off a gorge, and they'll do it.
Well, they are going to suggest that Biden was clearly off his rocker, and the Democrats kept making it sound.
Biden was clearly off his rocker, and he did a lot more for everybody than this man's done in 2 terms. Biden's done more.
Yeah, but that's not the.
The HBCUs got more money. The black unemployment was the lowest it was, and now it's high. Now we're at 4.1. Whatchamacallit? And then they're over here saying that the GP, whatever that
the GDP, the gross domestic product.
The economy's doing so good. No, honey, not for the middle class and the working poor. It's not. That's for the rich man. The rich man's making bukus of money. But stocks are up.
But we have to ask this. I mean, would the Democrats have been as effective at securing the border as Trump has been?
Okay, for one, I'm so sick of your black ass saying that the border is secure. Name me one bill that has put it so it be secure. Because let me tell you something. Biden had more deportations than this man has. More.
He's only been in office for less than a year.
No. He has more deportations. Our border is still the same. People are coming in. They haven't caught their asses. They haven't caught them. I'm sorry.
So you're telling
Let's get to the book.
You're telling me you believe that Biden is more effective at securing the border than Trump?
And he did try. The first day he came in office, he did try to pass the border bill. No, the Republicans didn't want that. Then Biden did it again. No, Trump told them not to do it. This ain't about the border. It's about having black and brown people in here. He's trying to cleanse us out. It's all about that.
Let me tell
you, it is.
What makes you say that? And before you answer that, Michael says, is gangster grandma okay? She doesn't sound as fiery. People reporting her and shit. So she's trying to back off a bit. I appreciate it. It saves me from getting my ass kicked every damn time. But folks are reporting. I don't believe in censoring speech.
I'm high as hell though. I can't even get mad today. I'm so blazed.
So are we?
So let me tell you. I'm so happy. I'm going to Norwegian cruise.
When?
That's what.
What the fuck?
I didn't say nothing bad.
No, but when I said you're getting reported, you noticed it happened? So obviously somebody that is a
because
human.
they're haters.
That's a
Because
human
they don't
doing that.
like.
Yeah, that's a
They don't.
human.
They don't like.
That's a human doing
They
that.
don't like. They don't like a black woman telling them what the truth is. But it's okay though. Because at least my kids.
So
Got
when
me
you
no
get on
reason to prove.
Norwegian cruise line, you do understand you're gonna be around a hell of a lot of white people, right?
Well, those are nice white people. I'm not. See, this is what everyone thinks. Okay, it's not the normal white people I do not like. It's the maggots that put us in a situation because they don't like the color of our skin. I'm going after the racists.
You wait.
Nothing.
You believe all MAGA?
Yes, yes. Because they know what he's doing and they're still standing with him. You walk like a duck, you talk like a duck, quack, quack, you a duck, duck. You know what I mean?
So you're telling me there is no way possible to be a Trump supporter and not racist?
No, because you know why? Because I know real Republicans that backed away from him. That say, I'm not voting for this. I didn't know that this was going to happen. I know real Republicans. And that's why I don't talk crap about the real Republicans. The ones that, you know what, I regret my vote. I didn't know he was going to be like this. I didn't know he was a racist like this. I respect them. I'm not talking about the normal white tea people, the ones that have our allies. I'm not talking about them.
All of the African Americans and Hispanics that voted for Trump, if he was racist, wouldn't they have seen this shit?
You know what? As I said, dumb is dumber. You know what I mean? The dumb, like, you know what I mean? They want to be next to whiteness so bad. The ratty raccoonies and the ratty raccoonies, the house ninjas.
Well, how about this? How about this? Christine once again in the comments says that what you're saying is not true. She says the Democrats are the violent ones.
Really? I swear it's the white tea man that's shooting up our schools. It's the white tea man that almost so-called popped Trump, and then leaned to the left on CK. That was the white tea man.
Well, no, but Trump suggests that he took a couple of bullets for his country.
Okay. I used to be a thug. Okay, I ain't gonna lie. I used to be a thug. I used to be out in the streets and stuff. I had one of those pew-pews, honey. That was a graze with some glass. That wasn't no graze for that bull, poo-pooing. Oh no, I seen what that bull, could do to a body, and it's not pretty. And if it would have did that to that ear, he wouldn't have an ear. But he's full of it. I just wished it would have, aimed better, man.
What the fuck? Wait a minute. Wait, what the hell do you mean you wish they would have aimed better? What are you trying to say?
At least the motherfuckers would have aimed better, dang. You know?
You actually wish that our president had not been...
He ain't see, let me tell you something about you, me and you. I don't even know if you're a leftist anymore. I don't give a, you are like a tolerant. Like you give these motherfuckers grace. See, I'm not like that. I don't give them grace. I'm intolerant. I will whoop their, and drag them to the pits of hell.
But gangsta grandma, you're literally saying you're indicating you wish that round had struck the president.
I really did. Like,
why? What has he done to make you hate him so much?
Because he's a racist pig. He's a rapist. What, all these files are coming out. There are, people are coming out and saying what he's done to these little girls. A tip came in. They won't release all of what happened with that, Lake Michigan. He had a boat on Lake Michigan when that shit happened. You know what I mean? He was there, and he knows he was. Why is he not trying to sue these people? You know what I mean? Come on. It's starting to all this stuff is like piling up. There ain't no way he is innocent. Why?
Well, look, I'm not saying he's innocent, but our court system does say you're innocent until proven guilty.
Well, you know what? Not my court system, honey. I'm not a white man, so he is guilty as hell because he is trying to fight everything to get these not to be let out when he ran on the crap and stuff. Are we great yet? No. They're trying to make it white. That's what they're trying to do. And the white man needs to leave this country because this wasn't their country. How about that?
Well,
this was not their country. This country was the indigenous people, the Mexican indigenous, and the indigenous, the Native Americans. This was their country until the white tea man came and plopped their little, salmonella-looking mayonnaise burnt ass
and
stuff up in
see,
here.
David in the comments says people like you is what proves liberalism is a mental disorder, and even Handsome Conservative says the kind of hatred it must be.
I don't have no hate.
Well, he says based on what he is hearing, the kind of hatred he's hearing, it must be. He says it must be gangster grandma. Support your local liberal. So
let me tell you something. All the hate is coming from the right. Kicking out people that didn't do nothing, going into the bathrooms, kicking out people, going into the courts where they're doing the right thing, you're kicking them out. You're blaming everything that's going on in this country on the undocumented immigrants. It's the white tea man that's unaliving everybody. It's the white tea man that's doing the most. We should kick their asses out. How about that?
What are the white tea people in this country doing to make you say something like, and in 2025, what are they doing?
What do you think, Tim?
I'm asking you.
They're peepering up our schools. You know how many people don't even want to send their kids to school because the white tea kids be going up there and doing what they do? You know what I mean? They're messing up their own kids. They're interbred. And I'm not talking about normal people. I'm talking about the psychos, the white tea people that are nutbags. You know what?
But is there really that many white tea people taking the lives of children in schools for you to be?
Yes, Tim. Are you serious? Get off your knees, Tim. I know you like the snow roaches that bad, but you're dripping. At least I have chocolate dripping from my mouth, and I'm proud of it. You know what I'm saying? But unlike you have the salmonella.
Thank you, Nicole.
You know what I mean?
Why do you wait a minute? This has nothing to do with protein or anything dripping from your mouth.
Yeah, it really is because you just too much.
I think that to some degree you just have a problem with white tea people. No,
Pookie and Ray and all that in between. No. I don't like the maggots. It's the maggots I do not like. They don't like us. They do not like us. Every time they come up on your live, you allow them. I be fighting them in this things, calling you the N-word and shit, calling you a boy. Who does that crap? And I thought all the place, and you just you sit there like a yes master, get the whips and stuff. See, I like whips and chains, but I'm in my lifestyle, and that feels good to me. But you a whole damn man.
Okay,
you shouldn't be into that.
Okay, first of all, I don't know what you're talking about, but in the comments, David says
I know you're basic.
David says the ones that are actually doing the schools the way you're talking about seems to be people with gender problems. What say you?
No, that was one time, Pookie and Ray. The other ones was heterosexual white tea kids. Let's not go there, okay? Columbine, everything. Get the fuck out of here. You white tea people be having interbred kids. We don't even know who their papi and mama is, so you be having their brains all messed up, and they be peeping up everybody.
Look, I don't deny that America has a hell of a problem with gang issues, and
it's not gang.
I mean, wait. Okay,
it's the white tea people. It's not gangs because if we did something, we know who we're going after, and we do that. Okay, that's what they call us, black on black. No, it's white tea on white tea. It's white tea on everybody. How about that?
I'm hearing that blacks represent 13% of the population, but 50% of the inmates. And by the way, Cushy Eileen left. What?
It's the convictions. We be fighting the convictions. It's mostly white tea people in there. Come on now. Let's not go there. And see did you see that? Did you see how you stand up for the white tea man, but your black ass will never stand up for even a black woman? You like the damn snow roaches and the corn puff ballies. You like them. But boy, that's yes, master. You'll never see
what are you trying?
Never see that.
What is your angle? What do you mean I don't stand up for black women? What are you trying to say?
You don't.
That's not true.
You don't. No, you don't. Because you be knocking the vice president down. No, you don't. You won't even date a black woman. I guarantee your wife was white.
God
That's why you're in a
damn.
fucked up. That's why your ass is a fucked up situation you are now. And I know you said get the fuck out of the situation. Hell yeah, I know. You be doing those snow roaches.
Why can't I just be a single guy using my hand?
I bet you want to. But I would too if I had a snow roach. I would be going straight. I would give me my toys.
Yeah, and Nicole.
If I had to pick between a snow roach and my
God.
toys, it would be my toys.
And Nicole,
Or
I see you say
chocolate
white
woman.
women right here. God bless you. So let me just ask it to you like this. We've had a year of President Trump. How is the country doing so far in your opinion?
We are burning, Tim. We are burning.
Burning.
We're burning. We're burning. He gave us salmonella. He gave us fucking damn
What
clap,
the hell?
every damn thing else. We are burning. We're burning.
What's making
We have a man, we have JFK that has a worm in his brain telling us not to vaccinate our kids. Okay? They are so mad about DEI. Okay? The whole cabinet is DEI with them. Okay? The whole cabinet. Trump was DEI. And they don't even see that. He was DEI.
Well, Trump gave us a really good economy his first term. That ain't DEI.
No. Get the cock out your mouth. Right now. The first 2 years was by Obama's. Don't ever. He was riding that coat. A black man's coat. That's why he never liked Obama. Until all this shit was breaking, and then he started putting tariffs on washing machines and stuff, and it was starting to crash. Don't do that. You're not gonna give that man no kind of credit. No.
So let me ask you
that
this.
sorry piece of crap credit for is the damn warp, whatever.
Operation Warp Speed, the COVID
Yeah,
vax.
I'll give him that. But then he's trying to mess all that up by not even letting the damn shots go out fast enough. And
Okay. Before I move it on from you, I'm gonna ask you. Before I move the program on from you, I'm going to ask you one simple question. Out of all of the things that President Trump has done, out of an entire year in office nearly, I just want you to give me one thing he's done this year that was good for America. One thing.
One? There's nothing good. There's nothing. All thing he has done for this country is we have a pedophile in office. We have a rapist in office. We have what is it called? We have a felon in office. Then he's lining his own pockets. He's lining his own pockets. He's not. What the hell is he doing for us? Right, well, our grocery prices are through the damn roof, okay? Our grocery prices, people's light bills are going through the damn roof. Natural gas is going through the damn roof. Oh my God!
What about the price of gas at the pump?
The gas, I'd rather have high, expensive gas than my food prices go down. But see, it's only 10 cents. 10 cents. And guess what? It's collapsing. The barrels are in the 50s. That's not a good sign.
I don't know. I actually think the gas has went down a lot more than you give.
No, it's not down a whole lot more. It's like 10 to 20 cents. But you know what? Everything else is sky high.
Well, in the comments, Handsome Conservative says, if you were smart as you think you are, you would know we all came from other places, even the Native Americans. It's called, he says it's called history, unique to learning. That's what he says.
The Native Americans and the Mexicans were on this land before the white T-man was. Everybody else, yes, we did come. The black people, you know, they was forced to come here because of your white T-asses, okay?
Wait, your...
What?
What are you getting at? You said because of your white tea. You're not talking to me, are you? Are you saying I was a slave owner?
No.
Oh.
You're black. I said the white tea man.
Well, I've been told black.
I know you've been drinking bleach. You still haven't turned white quite yet. You know what I mean? Like, come on, Tim.
Oh,
you need some chocolate in your system. So the damn, cornstarch fucking damn monkeys all up in there. You need something. You need good chocolate. It doesn't melt on your hands, but it melts in your mouth. That's what you need, some chocolate coochie. That's what you need. And then maybe you will love your sisters again. And maybe you'll see the light about coming back to the black side. Okay?
I'm going to head out and get some Cadbury today. I got to move it on, Gangsta Grandma. Happy New Year
I
to
have
you.
to be nice for a minute.
You
You
did
know
a good
what? I
job. You
thought it
did
was
a
all
good
about
job.
freedom of speech, though. See, they don't like freedom of speech when they get to hear how fucked up the white tea man is. But we got to hear about, oh my God, the economy's so good and every damn thing else when it's when we're all burning. So he hasn't done nothing. We're not great. He's trying to make us all white.
We'll leave it at
Ain't never
that.
gonna happen.
That's
I got to
frightening, but
go.
we'll leave it at that. Gangsta Grandma, it is, folks. By the way, tap the screen, get the likes on up to 25,000. This is uncensored programming. We don't block, ban, or censor anyone. If you're currently watching us live on Facebook, Instagram, or TikTok, do us a favor and follow the program. If you're tuned in on YouTube, give your boy a sub. We're here most weekdays. That's how the program is ran. Looking in the comments, keep loving. Nicole says, keep loving white women. Shout out to you, Nicole. In the comments, young Brycey says, make America great again. What does the again mean? Either we were always great or we were never great. Great again means he wants to bring us back to the 1950s. Yikes. Yikes. I'm going to leave that to my next viewer. My next caller. I want to, because folks ask all the time, what does great again mean? I'm going to leave it up to my next caller. I have my own opinions on it, but I'm going to pass it on and see what you folks have to say about it, because that is a question that comes up. Real quick in the comments, America will be great when Americans love thy fellow Americans as they do themselves. Shit, that's a hell of a hurdle to achieve. You would fit right in the 1950s, says Mike Honcho. You think so, huh? What are you indicating? What are you indicating? I would fit right in the 1950s. Real quick, looking in the comments. Fluff Daddy podcast on Fleet today. Fluff Daddy. You guys are mean. You guys are mean. Oh my God, please stop making me laugh, says Melissa. Melissa, we like to bring about a chuckle. Oftentimes it's at my expense, unfortunately, though. America has always been great. It's great right now, says Captain Chronic 420. Was it great during the Biden administration? Was it great just this time last year? Nicole Cushy says, does this woman hate white people? I'll leave that up to your own analysis. It is not here. I'm not here to suggest what people love and hate. I'll leave that up to your analysis. Real quick, before we go to the next caller, tap the screen, get us up to 25,000. We can make that happen if you let your thumbs not be lazy. The U.S. economy in late 2025 shows a strong third quarter GDP growth. 4.3. You're talking about the inflation driven by spending. The inflation rate is bad. The inflation under Trump has went up. The GDP growth has apparently improved under President Trump. But I'm going to tell you what I often tell my viewers is that the numbers that reflect good for President Trump are not really relevant for the average working guy. I mean, I've mentioned this before. Get us up to 25,000, by the way. We'll take the next caller at 25,000. Tap the screen. Real quick, California has the largest GDP in America. In fact, California, the GDP, the gross domestic product of California is larger than most nations on earth. Yet, the state of California has a hell of a lot of people in that state that are homeless, that are literally living on the streets in encampments, in tents and shit. You think the improved GDP means anything to them at all? Texas has homeless. Florida has homeless. So if you have an issue or a qualm with the state of California, understand many right-wing states have homeless people too. So when you say that GDP is up or you brag about the stock market, I'm going to submit to you that when you're homeless, the stock market improving and the quality of the GDP is irrelevant. Those things are irrelevant. In fact, you don't need to be homeless. You can just be a struggling working American making 40 grand a year or less. The stock market and the GDP, those numbers are irrelevant. What people want to hear is grocery prices are down. The price of fuel, the price of energy, the price of homes, the price of apartments, that has come down. You're not hearing that from Trump. GDP and stock market is not relevant for the average American. But we'll go ahead and continue on. I think we're just about at 25,000. We'll take the next caller. and move on with the program. We'll go to TT Sucks, I believe it is. And by the way, help your boy reach that hat, mustache, TikTok cap goal. Feel free to do so. That's why in California we have the highest pay for people in California. Pay in California, the minimum wage in California. I think Washington has a really high. All of those Pacific states on the Pacific coast. I think Washington over there has a really high minimum wage as well. So, but by the way, we'll continue on. I tried to bring up a caller. We'll go to the next caller. We'll try it with Ant. Good evening, Ant. If you are hearing it, you aren't paying attention to stats. I know what that means, but for some reason, I'm trying to bring up callers. I live in Michigan. Governor Whitmer is the worst governor we have ever had. She's a cause of our prices, says Christine Best. Whitmer seems to be in the state of Michigan a politician that is very, I guess I'd say divisive, just like with Trump. Just like with Trump, you either love the guy or you don't. That's what it seems to be with Gretchen Whitmer of Michigan. Many in that state love Gretchen Whitmer, and then there's other people who do not like her at all. I don't have an issue with her. I haven't seen. I get the COVID mandates, the MAGA folks surrounded the Capitol building and all that shit in Michigan. Let's try it again. I'm having a hell of a time bringing up guests. We'll try it with Reawakened. Reawakened. Good evening. Welcome to the program.
Hello.
Hey. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you loud and clear. Okay, so the question we're asking is simple. Are we great again yet? Year of Trump?
No, we're not. No, it's a disaster. It's a disaster. Every day is a disaster.
By what metric? Because President Trump states we have the most secure border we've ever had. He suggests that the economy is the best it's ever had. The price of fuel is cheap. He's also indicating that we're respected around the world, unlike what we were with Joe Biden, according to Trump. So what metric are you using to suggest that the country is a disaster?
All I got to do is look around. I go to the grocery store every day. I know what the cost of living is, and he promised to bring that down. Period. I voted for Trump 3 times. I talked to you the other day.
Yes.
It's a disaster. I have not changed my mind. He met with Bibi today. They were talking about Iran. They're talking about Venezuela. They're striking Syria and Lebanon and all of that. That is not America first.
Yeah. Well, but what about America safe? What about he's stopping drugs from coming into the country with Venezuela?
Oh my God! Prove it. Prove it.
You don't trust the guy you voted for?
Not anymore. I don't know.
What did he do to lose your trust?
Well, my number one thing was the October 13th at the speech at the Knesset.
What was in that speech?
We sent the best weapons, didn't we, BB? We got them here. Some of them I didn't even know what they were, but we got them here, didn't we, BB? So I was done at that very moment.
So you're not a fan of him supporting Israel?
I'm not a fan of war. I'm not a fan of people being, innocent civilians being unalived. All that death, and they still haven't gotten Hamas.
Well, and that's the problem. That's going to be the same issue with MS-13, Trinidad Agua, Venezuela. The problem, and Antifa as well, because he's designated them as a terrorist group. The problem is designating a movement as a T group. It's going to be impossible to eradicate that because literally anyone can be a member of Hamas. Anyone can be Trinidad Agua. Anyone can be Antifa.
But they're just telling him that he's doing a great job, stroking his ego, stroking his narcissism. Susie keeps him in a bubble and tells him everything is great. Meanwhile, it's not. So
what I'm curious about, though, Reawaken, is you voted for him 3 times. Did you not see any? I mean, it's not like he just became narcissistic or egotistical.
No, I've always thought that he was a narcissist, but I really liked him in his first term. I really believed that he would use his narcissism to be successful because most narcissists are successful.
But you giving him
in some way. in some way.
But here's where I'm baffled. And listen, you can obviously respond any way on this. We don't block, ban, or censor. But what I'm baffled is, okay, you're pointing out flaws of President Trump, yet you would have voted for him after the felonies, after January 6th, after saying he won the 2020 election. None of that was a deal breaker for you.
None of those were deal breakers for me. But when you are dropping bombs on humanity, that's a problem for me.
Pardoning all the January 6th participants?
Well, I mean, it is what it is. He said that he wasn't going to pardon all of them. He said he was going to look into it and all of that, but that wasn't deal breakers for me. That wasn't deal breakers for me. Because I think the whole entire government is corrupt. The entire government, they're all corrupt. You got intelligence involved in all kinds of things. You know, the feds are all up in that shit. It's just the way that it is.
Let me ask you this. I mean, with you having voted for him 3 times, do you believe he won the 2020 election?
I believe that. I believe Georgia. Yeah, for sure, because they came out and said it just the other day.
Okay, so you believe that it's possible that he...
I don't think it's by the measurements that he's saying, because I see a different side of him, but I don't know. I mean, possible. Any
idea? I'm gonna ask you what I often ask folks. Any idea why the whole Republican Party, just about all of the folks that served on his administration during his first term, from Scaramucci, Omarosa, Ambassador Bolton, Attorney General Barr, none of them say he won. I don't think there's a single Republican governor that says he won. I don't recall too many Republican senators or Republican Congress that say he won. Why would all of them say he lost?
I don't know. Probably because Trump wasn't doing what their handlers wanted him to do, so they're not allowed to. They're all controlled, all of them.
So you believe Trump may be onto something, but the entire Republican Party is on the other side of that?
Well, it wasn't the entire Republican Party.
Give me some names of Republicans in Washington that says otherwise, that says he won. Senators, Congress, governors.
I wouldn't say they said he won, but they weren't like 100%, but calling him crazy. But I'm not a Republican. I don't even vote for Republicans. Okay. I voted for Trump, so I don't even pay much attention to what that swamp in DC does. I believed Trump. I don't give a damn about none of them. I think they're all swampy, and I think they're all controlled.
How do you think he behaved on his first term? I mean, if you voted for him 2 more times, so you favor his first term then, right?
Mm-hmm.
Fair enough.
Yeah, I mean, he was funny then, and he was, waking people up on the right, and he was, making us pay closer attention. But I believe that it was all fake. Now, looking back, hindsight 2020, I think the entire thing was a psyop.
Wow, a psyop. You got to elaborate. What do you mean by that?
I think that he's a blue and white country plant. I mean, They said today they have never had a greater friend in the White House.
You're talking about Israel. Israel.
Yeah.
Well, I think
that's where all the chaos. That's where all the chaos goes. I don't want to drop bombs on Iran, and they start talking about Muslims, they hate America and blah blah. Well, I wonder why. Maybe we should stop dropping bombs.
Wow. Well, you do know, though, that President Trump, during the first term when you were supporting him, he came to office and called for a total ban on all Muslims entering the country.
Yeah, but I didn't know then what I know now.
Which is,
I was raised by a Pentecostal preacher, so I thought that was the Holy Land.
Oh. So some of this was religious based. Let me ask you this.
Absolutely.
Let me ask you this. Now, this guy didn't run for office, but it could have happened. What is your opinion of Charlie Kirk and Giant Robot? Thank you for the TikTok cap. What is your opinion of the late Charlie Kirk?
My opinion of him is that he was just a young guy who was, waking up Caucasian conservative males, bringing them further to the right. I didn't really have much of an opinion on him. I do think the Trump administration is lying about what happened to him.
You don't think Tyler Robinson?
No, I do not. Absolutely not.
You think?
I think that Trump gave the okey doke on it.
Wow. Why? Why would Trump do that?
Well, because they've proven that the Egyptian planes were here, and you have to have an escort coming into the country. Egyptian planes just don't fly around in our skies without being escorted.
I mean, Trump gave him a really honorable send off. Even lowered the nation's flags to half staff. You think he would have had something to do with his demise?
Trump is controlled. He is a puppet. And you have to go back and look at what Charlie was saying in his last weeks of life that have been confirmed by TPUSA on that part. Okay, they've been confirmed. Those texts have been confirmed. And look at what he was saying. Trump is scared to death of those people, dude. He's scared to death. Look at Kash Patel standing there looking all crazy, looking like, somebody over there to the right's going to off him. I mean, they look crazy. These are people that I followed. When Trump announced Kash Patel, I cried. I was so excited. Now that, dude, something's wrong with him. He's all bugged out.
Here's the thing, and I see the comments. Diamo says Trump's not scared of anyone. Yeah, you're the first I've ever heard to suggest that Trump is a puppet. Out of every president, to me, it would be hard to believe Trump a puppet.
I don't think he was the first term, which is why I think that nobody aligned with him during the election and all this and all that. But this term, he's an absolute puppet, dude. He's being led around on strings, and it's so blatantly obvious.
Why would he allow himself? What is he?
Because Miriam Adelson gave him $230 million.
I was told by folks of your ilk, well, before you, because now you're not necessarily a supporter of Trump, but I was told by folks of your former ilk that one of the good things about Trump is that he came to the office with all of his own money. He didn't take a salary, so he could not be bought. Sounds like you're saying the opposite.
Not this term, he didn't. He's got his son over there who's got a club in D.C. called The Executive. You think they're not making money off that? It's a $500,000 initiation fee. They're buying access to him.
Why would Trump, at 80 years old nearly, be in it for the money, though?
Because he's a greedy corporate fuck. I don't know. I mean, they're all like that.
And you say
he wants to make sure his family's rich forever and ever and ever and ever. They're all the same.
Well, I mean, his family is already rich forever and ever and ever.
Yeah, but it's never enough for people like that. I mean, we look at it and we're like, wow, it would be enough and we would help other people. But for them, it's never enough.
But what's confusing me, after voting for President Trump 3 times, I'm kind of wondering, I don't take away from you having an epiphany in changing your direction, but what I'm just baffled is you didn't see any of this stuff here, because everything you're saying about Trump applied to him when you voted for him the first time.
Tim, it really is a culty mindset. It's not like everybody meets in in a big group with candles. It's not like that, but it is a very culty mindset. I mean, look at what's going on right now with him in the files, and they're still denying it. They're justifying it. Yeah. They're saying, oh, well, people are legal in some states at 16. Shut up, you are sick. What is wrong with you?
Yeah, Megyn Kelly was the one that was trying to indicate that 16 is not a minor.
I'm talking about people on this very app. They're doing it.
I'm getting folks on the app. I'm getting folks on the app that swear up and down that Trump never even campaigned on releasing the files.
I don't care if he campaigned on it or not. He's in it.
But do you believe that President Trump himself would have actually taken the innocence of a child?
Yes, today I do. I mean, have you not seen where they were like unredacting stuff?
It's been coming out in a slow drip because Trump has been so resistant to let this stuff come out. So we're getting little.
But when they dropped them in an Adobe file, so they were able to go back. People were unredacting them.
So I guess I think I asked you this last time we spoke. You being formerly MAGA, obviously you know a lot of MAGA, correct?
Oh, yeah.
Has any of them, I think I asked you this before, but has any of them had the same turnaround or about face as you?
I don't know. I don't see them. I don't talk to them. I don't fuck with them. I don't know.
Family members?
My family is Trump all the way, but, I mean, that's my family. We just don't talk about it.
So you guys have a silent dinner during Thanksgiving?
No, no. I mean, my family's not like culty though. They're not as political as I am. I'm probably the most political. Like, I mean, they're Republicans. They're all from Texas, and they are like Texas Republicans. They liked Bush still. Like, they're just Republicans. They're not MAGA. I was MAGA. They're not MAGA.
Okay, so we've had a year of Trump. Even though you voted for him 3 times, but you don't like him now. Do you think he's done good things for this nation in this last year, though?
I mean, not anything he's ran on. I mean, he's doing a half-ass job at the border. What is it, like 300,000 or 400,000? That's not really that. I mean, millions were brought in according to him. I mean, that's about it. Nothing else.
I'm hearing the Trump administration claims they've deported 1 million people.
Well, they said 10 million came in, so they got a long way to go.
Well, look, his numbers can fluctuate greatly. I mean, he may tell you 10 million a day, it might be 11 or 9 tomorrow. I mean, his numbers
But
fluctuate.
what does it matter? He's going to bring in all the H-1B visas and 600,000 students and all this and all that. Doesn't matter. He's contradicting himself.
Yeah, but
Doesn't matter.
he is the people he's kicking out are poor. The people he's letting in are coming in with money.
Right.
Is that not a good thing for America?
He said criminals, not poor people who's been here for 25 years.
Yeah. So
He said criminals.
So then let me ask it to you this way. Now, obviously, you've had a about face with President Trump. Is there any inkling of liberal in you at all?
Yeah, yeah. I lean right mostly like on my personal like views and my personal, I guess what you call morals. Like I don't believe in AB for myself, not other people. You want to do what you do, you do you. I'm not going to judge.
So
you
you're
for it.
pro-choice then?
I'm for everybody else, but not for myself.
Okay, but you wouldn't pass pro-life laws. You favor letting everybody make their own decision with what to do with their body.
I would pass a law limiting it, is what I would do. Like, you can't use this as a form of birth control. That's what I would vote for if I was in Congress.
But you wouldn't
you got
ban
like
it.
3 max, dude. I mean,
What is it like when you go to Starbucks, you get a card, you punch in?
I don't know how they're gonna do it. I don't know.
Okay, but you are pro-choice then to a significant
To
degree.
a certain extent, yeah. And but for other people, I'm a live and let live. I'm basically like a libertarian that leans right.
Religion
Yeah.
in schools?
No, absolutely not. No.
LGBTQ. What is your stance on trans?
They can do whatever they want to do as long as they're over 18. I don't want nobody talking to my kid about it. I'm not going to talk to your kid about Jesus.
If I wanted to take my kid to a drag queen show, you're okay with that?
That's your kid. That's not my kid. If you are a parent and you want to take your kid to that, that is your child. You are housing them, you are feeding them, you're buying their clothes, and you're raising them. It is none of my business.
With all due respect, ma'am, after voting for President Trump 3 times, you're sounding blue as a motherfucker. You're sounding very liberal, ma'am.
I mean, I've always had these views. I guess maybe I just liked Trump. Thought he was funny. I thought that he would do the right thing. You know, I don't know. I don't see myself as a Democrat. I didn't like Obama. I thought he was, I don't know. Probably.
I need to hear this. I complete that sentence. You thought Obama was what? I need to hear this.
I thought Obama was kind of fake. Like, too nice, too well spoken. I just liked Trump's rhetoric in 2016.
I'm kind of taking a chuckle because you thought Obama was fake, and then you proceeded to vote for Trump 3 times.
I know.
That's wild. I mean, the dude is orange. Like,
I know.
So what did you think of Obama? He had 2 terms. How did you favor America under his watch?
Obama, I was a broke single mother, and I was raising a kid on my own, and I had more money then than I do now.
And you voted the total opposite of the guy who gave.
Yeah. I mean, things were way more affordable.
Yeah, wow, that's crazy. So yeah, let me ask you, ICE. What is your opinion of ICE?
Well, I don't have a good opinion of ICE because I know where they're trained, and so that's why they're so rough and mean.
Where are they trained?
With the IDF.
What?
So was a lot of LEOs too throughout the country.
They're trained with the IDF of
Yeah,
the Netanyahu guys. Really? Where?
yeah. Look it up. Yeah,
I have never heard that.
it's true. Look it up. I've fact checked it and over again. It is true.
Wow. And I see in the comments, I've joined your fan club for 100 days. Thank you, Elliot. Says your show is awesome, even with the fluffy. This fluffy shit drives me wild. All right, well, so no chance that Trump could ever. I mean, look, Trump
No,
2028.
absolutely not. I want him impeached.
What has he
I
done?
want him gone.
What has he done worthy of being impeached?
Because he's not even, dude, he doesn't even know what's going on. You're coming out here and you're telling the American people everything is more affordable and cheap and life is great. You obviously have no idea what's going on. You're obviously a puppet. And so if you can be controlled, then you don't need to be there. That's not America first. That's not what we need.
Well, perhaps America is great for the upper class. I mean, we're making a bunch of millionaires and billionaires as we speak.
Well, of course. But that ain't helping us. That's not helping me and you.
Yeah, yeah. Well, so no chance ever. All right, I'll move it
No,
on. But
hell
you
no.
always make the most interesting caller because I don't get many of you. I mean, you
Because
really
it's a cult.
and you don't hear MAGA say anything like that.
No,
I'm going to
God,
close.
no.
I'm going to
Hell
close
no.
by asking you to define because I got a lot of MAGA watching as well. I want you to define why you state that MAGA in its current environment is a cult. I want you to explain
Because
that.
they cannot criticize, they cannot see the truth for what it is. Like, it is blatantly in your face. Like, number one thing you have to do is see Trump for who he is. Listen to what he says. He literally tells you. And I am telling you, I was one of those people, and I thought he was funny, and I just thought he was being a smartass, but he's not. He's being serious. He really is that hateful and that mean, and he really doesn't care about anybody. And he says it all the time, over and over and over again. Like today, they were talking about, I think they were talking about Gaza or like Iran or whatever. They were talking about death or whatever. He's like, well, that's just too bad.
Yeah,
It's just sick.
he's not a very empathetic guy. I'm not going to argue with you.
Well,
Really?
no, because he doesn't have to be, because his family's protected. Like, he brought his son, Barron, home, like, to the White House to go to school. Why do you think he done that? Because he's scared to death. That's why.
Oh, wow. Let me, before, one other question. This is coming from a viewer I thought was very interesting. He said, asked me, why didn't you know you were in a cult? Why didn't you know you were in this?
You just don't know. You just don't know. Like, it really does. I'm actually planning on, I've been working a lot, but planning on looking into, like, how they initially grab a hold of your mind. It's like psychological warfare. Plus, we're in an information war, right? Everything is so censored and this and that. And then Trump comes out and everything is fake news. That's like the number two thing. Everything can't be fake news. It can't be. So you start looking into these things, and he's just a fucking liar, dude. And people, they won't do it. They can't handle the truth. They do not want to know. You can literally show them they don't care.
I've had many viewers out here that fit that description. I'll leave it at that. Wow. Wasn't expecting that. You're always a pleasure talking to you. Always welcome back on the program. Thanks for coming through.
All right, see ya.
You too. All right, moving on with the program. By the way, tap the screen, folks. Get the lights on up. We should be around 50, FIDDY. But tap the screen and make that happen, goddammit. We're at 38. Tap the screen, get the likes up. If you happen to be watching us on Instagram, TikTok, or Facebook, follow the program. If you're watching on YouTube, give your boy a sub. We're here most weekdays. In the comments, hey, caller, look up Project Mockingbird. I haven't heard about Project Mockingbird. You were referring to my last caller with that. Project Mockingbird. What is that? Tap the screen, get the lights up. This live has been a joke, says Alan 420. Well, Alan, if you want to come up, you can certainly help clarify things and take us away from the comedic path. Put us on the road to something serious. Alan, feel free to come up. We'll certainly bring you up, give you plenty of time to state your case. There's no censorship here, so understand that. Woke equals broke equals joke. says Paul. I don't know. I'm gonna be honest. I'm gonna be candid with you. When it comes to me, I don't really understand what the definition of woke is. Simply put, the definition of woke from African Americans, from LGBTQ, from women and feminists, and certainly from MAGA, all have different meanings. All have different meanings. And certainly MAGA's definition of woke is completely something I have never heard of until MAGA came on the scene. So I don't know what woke is. Mr. I guess Rugby or Rugby or whatever the case may be, we get your emojis. I don't like to block and censor folks. When you're typing the same shit every comment, you're begging to be blocked. Mr. Bugby or V or something like that. You're not adding anything to the program other than emojis. We get it. You're sending smiling emojis. Maybe you think the program's a joke or whatever the case may be, but it look, I'd rather you call me a fucking idiot than type emojis that have no meaning. Anyway, woke means something different in different communities and races. I kind of agree with that. I kind of agree with that. But I was always taught, things that could harm you, things that could be a detriment to you. Don't sleep on that. Don't sleep on the power of of a shotgun, or don't sleep on what the police might do to you if you're out in the wrong time of night. Don't. In other words, stay awake. Pay attention. Keep your head on the fucking swivel. Don't sleep on that. That's what I was under the impression of what woke meant. But I'm hearing from, like, say, MAGA, something totally different. Something totally different. So it is what it is. Big Dog, I see you, says Niners gang. What the fuck ever. I am a Bears fan. Shout out to my Bears. They lost last night, but they were like 7-point underdogs or something like that. So they beat the spread. I lost some money on them, whatever, but Bears have been more competitive than anybody fucking thought. Shout out to the Bears. They took it all the way down to the last play. And thank you, Big Dog, for the TikTok caps. I am a Bears fan. I shall remain. After a lot of losing seasons, shout out to them. What is it, 11-5? Anyway, looking in the comments, Swift wasn't too swift. Let me go back to the box. We should be at 50. Tap the screen. Get the likes on up. Woke means whatever they don't like. Zizik, yeah. I think that may be close to the truth. That's what I'm seeing. See, Osby, the more you know. Kind of remind me of the old NBC, the more you know star that used to be on Saturday mornings. Ask real quick in the comments here, Tim, stop being a silly donkey. Woke has context. It can take several meanings. Is that not what I just said, Draco? I just gave you several different groups and clearly stated that woke means something different to each group. So how about you refer to me as an educated donkey from now on? How about that? Because you said the same shit in effort to correct me. Let me go back to the box. You guys are lazy on the thumbs. Tap the screen, get the likes on up. Jeremy's 990. Good evening, Jeremy. Woke means understanding the situation you're in, good or bad. I like that definition, Maurice. I would go with that one. Keep your head on the swivel. Keep your head on the swivel. Be alert. Know what the hell's going on. Very similar to your case, your statement, Maurice. But I'll ask you, Jeremy, what does woke mean to you?
Woke, it honestly is kind of watered down at this point. It can mean a lot of different things to a lot of different people.
What about to you? What about to you?
When I hear woke, what I hear is far left propaganda.
God damn it! Really? So people, yeah. So nobody on the right is woke.
Not really woke, but I'd say there's an equivalent to it. I'd say I don't think it has a word for it yet.
All right, fair enough. To me, I see woke as synonymous with alert. Stay on your toes. Something is going on that you need to be woke to. That's the way I look at it. As woke meaning opposition to sleep. Don't sleep on whatever it is. I don't care if we go to Starbucks and they got a new mocha out that you want me to try. Don't sleep on this, man. This is good shit. Stay alert to something that's going on.
Yeah, well, I think we should definitely stay alert to all the crime in Minnesota, right?
And there's nothing. I seen Nick Shirley's expose in Minnesota. Yes, I have seen it. In fact, that was the first segment The first segment of the 5 today on Fox News covered that.
Yeah, Nick has been doing some good work, my guy. He really has. He's definitely getting this independent journalism thing down.
Yeah, he'll go somewhere with that. Listen, when it comes to the fraud in Minnesota rather, by the Somali population there, I think that first of all, if they're committing fraud, bring them to justice, charge them, jail the ones that are guilty of it, take back as much money as they stolen, and if they're here on a visa or green card, they get deported. I'm fine with that. But I also believe there's an element of hate to it as well. I believe that if it was a whole bunch of white people doing the same shit, Nick Shirley would not have been there. I'm not defending what they're doing whatsoever. It sounds like it is absolutely wrong. But I believe the reason it's getting so much coverage is because we don't like the people that's doing it.
I don't agree with that at all. I think Nick is a pretty good guy. I think he would have been there. I think the reason why it's happening so blatantly because some of the level of scamming is so blatant, and that it's like, how did you not see this? Is because they are Somali. I think that it's Tim Walz. Honestly, I don't know whether he's just as high or incredibly stupid, but one of the two. He's just not. He clearly should have seen some of this coming. And there are some whistleblowers saying that they were told not to talk about it by the Walz administration.
Well, I don't think Tim Walz wanted it to go on, so he absolutely may have an element of negligence there. I don't think he wanted his state to be defrauded, so he didn't know it. And maybe you're right. Maybe they turned a blind eye to it or weren't that eager to take it on. But yeah, you don't think Tim Walz is a co-conspirator in it, do you?
Honestly, I'm suspicious.
Why would he do that? Why would he defraud his own state? He's not getting any of the money.
He likes the voting base. The voting base helps him. But I'm almost certain Ilhan Omar is. I'm almost certain she is. Did you know her little boy toy, her husband, has a website?
Wait, her little what? What about her husband?
Her husband and had some kind of agency that was affiliated with a lot of these scammers. Or is it now they're erasing names off of the websites? Yeah, that's not suspicious. It's not fucking suspicious.
From what it sounds like, it seems like a large portion of that population were defrauding the state of Minnesota for the sake of sending money back home and helping their own country, which is really bad. Really bad.
It's even worse than that. A lot of this money made its way to the Al Qaeda offshoot Al Shabaab. To me, anyone who can be proven in court, because everyone deserves their time in court, anyone who can be proven in court is that they gave money to Al Shabaab should be hanged for treason.
Can't do that. So wait a minute. So if I send money, hold on. If I send money to an ISIS group, you think I should be executed?
Yeah. No. If you sent it to now, obviously, if all of a sudden you sent it to somebody who you thought was normal, and they sent it to somebody else, and then they sent it to somebody else, and then it ended up in ISIS hands, that's a little different. But if you knowingly sent it to a foreign military, that's treason.
Yeah. Here's the problem. When you look at everything from the Iran-Contra scandal to America sending Iraq weapons to fight Iran and then claiming they had weapons of mass destruction, if you actually executed everybody that helped out terrorism in this country, you would probably take out most of the damn leadership. Most of the countries that we end up being adversaries with, just a government or two before, we were friends with them and we were funding them. I mean, that happens with many of them. So I don't know why all of a sudden the Somalis would get treated differently.
Fuck them.
Look,
yeah, no, a corrupt politician got the news. Oh, no. What? Don't you think of the children?
You sound like Charlie Kirk talking about bring back public education. Listen, I'll just say it like this. If you funded a T group, you should face the highest extent of the law. But I don't favor executing somebody for it. I just don't favor that. And by the way, if you've done it as an American immigrant, you absolutely qualify for deportation. But unfortunately, a lot of the Somali population in Minnesota were born here. So they're Americans. You can't deport them. They were born on American soil. They have birthright citizenship. But
you can imprison them.
Yeah, you can absolutely do that. And I was going to say the punishment for doing that is so long that they're going to be in prison for the rest of their lives anyway. If you get caught funding a T group, you're not going to get out. You're not going to get out of prison for a very long time
Yeah.
anyway. But you got to
You know what?
prove that.
You know what, Tim? I'll say this about you. What I really like about you is that you're not right wing. You're not right wing at all. You don't try to be. You don't try to be at all, despite how oftentimes you get accused of fluffing, which I think is honestly
Every fucking program.
You know what I think it is? I think people are just in a cult and they're just like, hey,
Oh!
dare say anything against the left. We got to call him a fluffer. We got to humiliate him. Call him a coon. Call him whatever we can. He's not following the line. But
a liberal cult? Do they make those? A liberal cult? Do they make those?
I think they make a right wing and a left wing cult.
Okay.
I think both sides have that. The only difference is I don't think the right exactly gets away with it.
Well, you don't think which side gets away with it?
I don't think the right gets away with it. MAGA has been called a cult so many times. Honestly, you can make flashcards with it.
Well, I'll tell you why the right is not getting away with it, because in my opinion, it's more obvious. I mean, I'm seeing the right defend things that Trump is doing where I know for a fact they were overly critical of before Trump came on scene. So it's pretty obvious you guys have changed your tune for this guy. So if the left starts doing that, then yeah, it would be obvious. But yeah, the amount of support for President Trump, basically, no matter what he does, I'm going to support him. That's what's causing that. And Dencal, appreciate that graphic. Thank you. That's what's causing that, is that the right is following Trump no matter where he goes. If he says right now, Kim Jong-un is getting out of hand, we got to bomb Kim Jong-un, most of the right would be like, this guy's a bad guy for America. Let's go do it. If he said, look, we need to reach out to our adversaries. We've been enemies with Kim Jong-un for far too long. We need to start reaching out, maybe open up trade agreements. They would agree with that too. So it really does not matter what he says. They're going to go with it. That's why I often say that the viewpoint of Trump from MAGA is kind of like how we view the deity. Whereas if you got a relative that's on their deathbed and you're praying for that person, you're praying for God to save that individual. If that person goes into remission and is healthy again, you'll thank God. If that person passes on, you'll still thank God for the time that person was with you alive. So it doesn't matter what happens, you're going to be thankful to God. That's how the same view is with Trump. No matter what he does, you're going to say it was some good in it. Doesn't matter what it is.
Yeah, I agree, and that's bad, and that shouldn't happen. That's why I'm not MAGA anymore. I was for a while, but I'm not anymore. I'm just conservative, and it's really disappointing because this could have probably been Trump's year to shine. This could have been Trump's 4 years of pure bliss, where like he really showed off what he had to do. I mean,
my comment section, Jeremy, they like you still. They don't believe you're not MAGA, man.
I know, it's because I'm not on my knees begging for forgiveness, and I'm not going to. I'm not going to beg for forgiveness. I don't care. I don't feel bad, and nor should I. Okay, because plenty of people lie and tell you that they're going to do stuff that they don't end up doing, or they do stuff that you don't like.
Yeah, but that's the difference. But you saying you no longer support Trump, you're pointing out that plenty of politicians lie and they don't follow. With the MAGA side, if Trump does not follow through, well, they all lie. If he meets his campaign promise, see, look how great he done. Promises made, promises kept. If he fails to meet it, well, Biden didn't meet his promise either. So it doesn't matter what he does, the outcome is positive.
Yeah, I know. And no matter what, that's kind of like, that is a cult mentality, and it's not good. And here's the thing, I'm still going to be voting conservative in most cases. You know what it really is? It's a desire to make you submit. It's not enough that I say, like, hey, this guy's messing up. I don't support him anymore. He's not doing what he said he was going to do. He's going in directions I don't like. They want you to say that your entire ideology was wrong and beg and plead. That's what it is, and that's never going to fucking happen.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Look, if from my standpoint, it would be more like admitting that the horse you picked was never going to, lead the country to greatness or something like that, as opposed to, I get the right-wing ideology, small government, pro-Christianity, pro-military, pro-family, which Trump is not a lot of those things. But I do understand. Yeah, I do understand right wing ideology. I may lean left, but I understand it. I don't shame it. Some of the things you like, I don't favor small government because listen, at the end of the day, I'm a minority, and with minorities, states' rights has been horrible. The history of the only way states' rights should work for you if you're a minority is you have to ignore all of history, but because historically, states' rights was terrible for minorities. But I understand why many on the right support it because they didn't have to deal with it. It doesn't have a history of affecting them like that. So I don't shame that.
Yeah, I know. By the way, did you finish watching that video I sent you?
No, I have not. I have not. I've been, man, these last days I've been sitting around the house doing nothing but watching sports. You should send it. You should have.
Yeah, you're a Bears fan. I'm real sorry to hear that.
I'm not 11-5. God damn it, they've had a great season. I'm not.
I know. I mean, I can't make fun of you too hard. I mean, like I am a Packers fan, and we didn't do too well the last night.
Hey, we kicked your ass last time. It took the whole fucking game to do it, but look, you guys got the Bears number. I get it. Almost every game the Bears play with you guys, I'm hoping that they don't have to play you as a wild card team because for some reason, even when the Bears have a fantastic season, most of their losses still are to the Packers. So hopefully we don't have to play you guys any more this year. I don't trust it. There's something about the Packers the Bears just cannot beat. So hopefully that don't happen.
Yeah, but back to the stuff of substance. Look, here's the thing. I want President Trump to do good because if he does good, we all do good. I'm Americana.
But when the guy says he hates Democrats, I don't think he wants Democrats. You saying you want him to do good because we all do good. I don't think he wants half the country to do good. I mean, I don't think he likes Democrats, Democrat politics. But in fact, it ain't about what I say. I think the man has stated, "I hate Democrats."
Yeah.
So
Charlie Kirk's memorial. Yeah, he's like, and I don't want them to do good.
Yeah.
And I was like, dude, that's not the right time to be saying that. Why at his memorial?
As a president, Jeremy, there is never a right time to say some shit like that. What I don't get though is when folks of your ilk, and I'm talking MAGA, even though you said you're not MAGA anymore, I don't get why it's so damn surprising that people have Trump derangement syndrome. I hate the guy. When he's saying shit like that, he's not exactly trying to make friends, is he?
No, he's not. And it's unfortunate. Look. At the end of the day, we're gonna have 4 years of him. Hopefully, the next 3 years are pretty good. One thing I'm nervous about is China is definitely not his friend. I'm very much okay with the idea of bringing manufacturing back to the United States because it is a national security issue. But I'm worried about Taiwan. I'm worried because the second that China tries to invade Taiwan, we're going to war.
You believe that if China invaded Taiwan with Trump as president, you don't think that China could put money in the right place or something like that and get Trump to stand down?
Nah, Trump's way too ready to go for it. He's way too ready to go for it. But now, here's the thing. I think we should back up Taiwan, and I think I think that if we did that and on the world stage, it would tell China to back off.
I don't know. I gotta disagree with you. I think when it comes to Trump, I'm not confident because what is it called, Article 5 or whatever? When a NATO member nation is attacked, I'm not confident that if any NATO member nation was attacked, that Trump could be. I don't believe that Trump could be held accountable for jumping up and help. I don't feel confident that he would join in. I just don't. I mean, you heard him say nothing but negative shit about NATO, about countries not paying their fair share and things like that. I could easily see him using that as an excuse for, you guys didn't do your fair share for the last few decades. We've decided we're not going to back you up. Your military should have been stronger or something of that nature. I could easily see Trump saying, we're not going to hold our part because you didn't hold your part. And most of MAGA would agree with that.
Yeah, but they have those nice, sweet, cute little computer chips that we need so bad. So, and nowadays everything has a computer in it. Even trucks have a computer in it. Like
Yeah.
like nowadays, like vehicles, you can't drive a vehicle without having some kind of computer chip in it. Which honestly, I feel like it gets really kind of disgusting because I think it's the company's way of keeping you from being able to repair your own car. But that's just my theory.
Yeah. I believe
but-
that's true too. I do believe that they sell us stuff that they do not want to be serviceable.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
See, I think we agree on more than we disagree on. And by the way, you still live in the Chicago area?
Yeah.
Dude, dog, like, okay, like I'll DM you something later, okay?
Okay, send me what you got. I'll go ahead and move it on, but send me what you got. I want to finish watching that flick as well. But yeah, DM it to me, and we'll certainly talk on the other side. Jeremy, thanks for coming through.
Thanks. Kwanzaa still isn't a real holiday.
Why the fuck would you say that?
Because it's funny.
I can't wait to hear you on Juneteenth. I gotta go.
Have a good one.
All right. Moving on, tap the screen. The fucking Bears, damn it. Yeah, peace of love of my Bears, my Bears, my Bears. I'm still, look, I lost money last night on the Bears, but I'm still delighted with the Bears' performance for this year. And I don't know if they're Super Bowl caliber, but I think they'll certainly at least make it to the second round of the playoffs. With the exception of playing the Packers, it's just you never can feel confident that the Bears is going to beat the Packers as long as they don't play the Packers in that first game. But I think they are going to end up playing them. Anyway, let me move it on with the program. President Trump issues full pardon to Joseph Schwartz, nursing home owner who withheld $39 million in payroll taxes for 15,000 employees, but never sent the money to the IRS. When did that happen? You know, now I'm watching the fight. Thank you, Me Too. We're about to talk about this. That's one of the things I don't get. We're in Minnesota because of the Somali fraud. It's a ton of money. We get it. The Somali migrants or even Somali Americans, because a lot of them are Americans that are in Minnesota, are defrauding that state. That's big news coming from the right. But as he's pointing out, I haven't heard of this case about Joseph Schwartz, but fact is, President Trump has pardoned a hell of a lot of white-collar fraudsters that have stolen tons of money. Like the Binance founder, that Asian guy, that actually made a $2 billion transfer or something to his family with another business. I mean, it just baffles me how the right can suggest that they're so focused on fraud with these Somalis while the actual president of the United States that they support is pardoning probably at least one fraudster per week. Every week, a white-collar criminal is walking out of prison because of President Trump. I mean, not to mention, as one of my viewers stated yesterday, I think it was Denkow, that when he pardons these people, he's also dropping the restitution they are ordered to pay. Let's say you are a fraudster, you go out there and you defraud people out of millions of dollars. They're going to give you a prison sentence, but they're also going to demand that you pay back millions of dollars that you were stealing. Trump is also forgiving the millions you'd have to pay back. He's not only setting you free, he's giving you all of the money you took. So it's like literally letting the bank robber out of the bank, or better yet, letting the bank robber out of jail. And then when he walks out of jail, you go, here's the money you had to. Don't forget to take the money with you. That's what Trump is doing. But Minnesota's making big news. Make that make sense. He's pardoning fraudsters and letting them keep the loot. That's why I'm suggesting that there is criminals in Minnesota, but I think the only reason it's getting so much coverage is due to hate. Because the right ain't saying shit about all these people that Trump is letting out. Anyway, let me go back to the box. We'll continue the program on with the one and only Denkow. Good evening, Denkow. Minnesota stole tax cash. You're stealing from the American people no matter what. Okay, so I didn't take your taxes. I took your 401k, or I took your bank account, or I took your Bitcoin. Does it really matter as long as the motherfucker's stealing from you? At the end of the day, it's your money. Doesn't matter how it's being stolen.
I had a conversation today with somebody doing the same thing, talking about how bad Minnesota is, and I'm like, people steal billions from states like New York, and nobody ever says we should execute the governor.
Isn't that what Trump's felonies are for? What
exactly. all of the fraud from New York that he perpetrated upon the people of New York and federal taxes, they got nothing to say. But when somebody does it in Minnesota, now all Somalians are bad.
Yeah. So you kind of seem to be speaking in from the same standpoint as me, that it is fried, but the element of hate is why it's getting so much attention.
Right. Imagine it. Look, imagine if any other race or any other people would have said back in the day when all of the gangsters were in New York and they were pillaging the government contracts and stealing all of the concrete contracts and making all of the local businesses pay ransom and stuff. Yeah. If we would have said, look, all Italians should be out of this country because the Italian people are shitting on the American taxpayer.
Yeah.
We don't do that.
And that is the point. Yeah. And that's what I said. I don't get why. I get that the Somalis are committing fraud, but when you got motherfuckers in Montana that's never going to go to Minnesota talking about it, or you sitting somewhere in Nevada talking about fraud in Minnesota, that makes no sense. It's like there is an element of hate to it. It's the same thing when you hear a crime take place in Chicago and right-wingers all over the country are talking about it. You ain't been to Chicago, you ain't going there. Why the hell do you care so much? Because you don't like Chicago.
Look, yeah. Just in my small town here in Georgia, I live in a little small town outside of Augusta, Georgia. We had the little city council and all of that stuff when they was getting all of that money during the Biden administration for the infrastructure bill and all of that stuff. And we found out the city clerk was stealing millions of dollars. Now, this little small town, all wow. Republican, nobody say, hey, that person or he was on there talking about people should be executed for treason and all that kind of, man, are you serious?
Well, listen, if you are taking Americans' taxpayer money and you are funding a T group that seeks to harm Americans, you can understand why somebody would get passionately angry about that, right?
I do understand, but just like you said, some people's T groups are other people's freedom fighters. Yep. We can all sit back and say, well, this specific group, because they've been designated by the United States, but what are we doing over there in international waters blowing up other people's boats? To them,
that's terrorism.
To their people, I guarantee you, Americans are T groups.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I would say the same thing to Palestinians going around as well. I mean, we've more than taken revenge for October 7th. So at this point, helping, I mean, not only is Israel greatly superior militarily to Hamas and the Palestinians, but then the head of the United States said, we're going to jump in this shit too. Like what the fuck? Like these little people, you guys are, these big, huge powers are fighting these little people like, yeah, I mean, I agree that we are a T group to a lot of places as well, but some would say that's unpatriotic for us to say that.
I mean, we're utilizing the official definition in the American Dictionary of what a T group is, and that is what we have been doing. Like I don't know how it's to look. I guess I'm a patriot by definition because I served in the military, but that doesn't mean I can't tell the truth about what's going on.
Well, to some degree, a lot of folks believe that if you criticize the United States, you lose your right to claim you're a patriot.
No, I doubt that. No. I mean, even the people, your deepest MAGA people, all say the government has been corrupted since the inception. All of them. Even Trump says this country has been a shithole with all of these dumb politicians. He himself says it all the time, how bad this country is.
Well, how about this? In the comments, Lex says, this is an individual giving a passionate recollection of their own issue. Says, I used to be a drug addict. I'm so happy we finally have a president that will actually try to stop drugs coming into the country. What about a testimony like that?
Okay, well, what I would tell that person is that we constantly have ships in the Caribbean, all around the southern hemisphere, that stop and remove these drugs from coming to America. Just because we blow them up does not mean they're not coming. We used to capture them, then we get intel, we figure out who's actually making them, we infiltrate those places and we take them down from within. Blowing them up it's not changing anything because the vast majority of those people that are on those boats they're not making no calls. They're not big bosses. They don't decide anything. Most of them get forced into making those runs out of their will. So you're not stopping anybody that understands any really big cause like that, anything like, addiction and all of that stuff, you have to address root cause. You can't pick up a whole bunch of street dealers and think you're going to stop dope from existing. That's not how it works.
Yeah, I think that our issue is the demand for it in this country. Listen, you can try to shoot every boat you see coming in or catch every smuggler, but as long as there's a demand as sizable as there is in America for narcotics, it's going to be here. I mean, our demand is huge, just like illegal immigrants. Trump is trying his best to stop illegal immigrants from coming to this country. There's obviously a huge demand for illegal immigrants in this country, though. So as long as 300 and some million people have millions of Americans that want them here, that want drugs here, can you really stop it?
They can't stop it. And that's what lets you know what they're doing is not genuine. It's not that I don't want to stop, illegal, narcotic from coming into my country, but I understand that there's a way to do it that's going to be effective and not just punish the wrong people.
Yeah. To me, if you wanted to tackle narcotics, the best way to me would be tackling the demand for it. Try to figure out why people are becoming addicts and help them out within this country. Because if you remove the demand, the folks bringing it here, they're only bringing it here because people want it. If ain't nobody trying to get it, there's no reason to risk your whole life and everything that you stand for trying to get it in.
Right. Open up more clinics. Open up ways for people who want to stop to be able to stop.
Yeah.
But they don't do that. But then, because that would include giving somebody some insurance, which they don't want to do. Even the rich people find it hard to get into certain clinics because they're so expensive.
Yeah.
So how are we supposed to, the people that we see on television, the people that I know who have wanted to get clean, there's no place to go. You can't just walk in someplace and because they got waiting lists. You got to go through you got to have your counselor and all that stuff. Like, there's no easy way to
I don't get that. And before I say that, by the way, folks, tap the screen. I need to get up to 80. You guys are lazy thumbs in. Tap the screen, get the likes up. What I don't get, though, is in a country where we continue to defend a person's right to bear arms based on virtually nothing but turning a certain age. Once you turn 21, you can get a gun as long as you don't have a criminal history. I don't see why treating drug addicts and mental illness is not our number one concern. In a country where anybody can be armed, you don't want drug addicts and mentally ill people walking around. That should be the number one thing we attempt to tackle. And I just don't see that. I don't see it at all.
And every time this stuff happens, we keep saying the same thing. Those people were mentally deranged. Those people had mental illness, but there's never any proposal in legislation to do a thing about it. But these are the people who talking about we don't want people to have health insurance unless they can afford it.
What about this in the comments? Maestro Man says Trump said he saved 25,000 lives for every boat he's blown up. So that would make a few 100,000 people that Trump has saved. How do you respond to something like that?
I would say, well, then that makes me a superhero because all of the drugs I've interdicted tens of thousands of tons over my military career. So that means if he did it in less than a year, because he blew up 20 boats, and I've been over there. Well, we've taken down narco subs, we've taken down Go Fast, we've taken down large boats, small boats. So that must mean I'm Captain America then.
Yeah, listen, first of all, I don't think that Trump even knows the quantity of drugs. I mean, first of all, he can't even prove that drug was to begin with, but then to know the quantity and then be able to equate it to lives lost and all this stuff. That's just, I don't know. They don't like when you do that with guns. When you say I took a gun off the street and saved a life, they don't like that math. But when you say you took drugs off the street, the same kind of math, they seem to favor it. But yeah, I don't. You can't blow up a boat and say you automatically say. There's no guarantee that everybody that took the drugs on this boat was going to die. I don't know where he's getting that from.
Right. It's saying that every pill accounts for a death is just stupid.
Yeah.
It's like it doesn't make any sense. But guess what? He says it catches on, and then we roll with the narrative that somehow he's got the DOJ running around talking about he saved 100,000 people every boat he stopped. Like that's silly to say that.
Yeah, I see one
It's
of my.
like saying all of this. Like every people use fentanyl for years and don't die.
Right. Well, I see in the comments, one of my viewers says, by Trump's count, he has saved 6.7 billion American lives.
It ain't even that many people, but
Right.
he saved their
He saved
lives,
about
right?
the next 10 future generations.
And literally, with 20 boats, he stopped.
Right.
Really?
That was a hell of an amount of product. If only 20 boats was carrying that much smack on it, goddamn.
Well, if anybody knows somebody that still live in the hood in these high traffic areas, ask them how much of a drought it's been in their area. Because I guarantee you, everybody's still getting a fix. No matter what he says. You're talking about a multi-billion-dollar industry.
Yeah.
So them couple of boats he blew up, which we know had nothing to do with the actual fentanyl at all. We know that.
But why do you say? Well, no, they believe that them boats did contain fentanyl. Why are you saying that we know they did not? And I see you in the comments. Straight Talk says you and I make 0 sense, didn't count. But why do you say that we know it didn't have anything to do with fentanyl, didn't count?
Well, look, all we can do is utilize the statistics and information that we're given from our government. And the government said that Venezuela was providing like 1% of fentanyl in this country. We know where the fentanyl is coming from. And we ain't there about to blow up no boats off the coast of off the coast of China or Canada or nowhere else that we know is fentanyl coming from.
Yeah. And that would be my biggest question to the MAGA side, the Straight Talks in the comments, folks who support President Trump and what he's doing. My point would be, do you, after seeing the war on drugs under Ronald Reagan, do you really think what Trump is doing is going to have any significant effect on drug use or availability in America? I mean, look, you might agree that a boat bringing dangerous drugs to America should be blown up. We can certainly entertain discussing it. But at the end of the day, do you really think people are going to have a hard time getting high in America because this dude took out like 10, 12 boats? Like, I mean, to me, it's like literally coming in the house with a bucket of salt water, talking about you scooped it out the ocean and you're draining the ocean outside. Like, this ain't doing shit.
Like I made a mistake. It's not a multi-billion. It's a multi-trillion-dollar industry of illegal drugs in the United States alone. So in order for somebody to say 20 boats somehow, it's going to slow down or stop any death or usage, look, that's not the way the world works.
Yeah.
And what I told a friend of mine was, and you say, like, I disagree with your opinion about we can have no. It's cruel and unusual punishment to blow people up because you think they're doing something.
But do you want to be on the side that stands with defending the life of drug suppliers? And real quick in the comments, Lex Boom says Trump is the best president of my lifetime. Okay, maybe you're only 12 years old. I don't know.
Exactly. I was gonna say maybe it's one.
Yeah, maybe you're only 12 years old. I don't know. So, I mean, if you're comparing Trump to Biden, if those are only two presidents, there's reason to say either side. But I have to see how old you are because you're putting Obama and Bush and the rest of them in there. Then it's a different conversation. But so, yeah, so you're on the side of protecting the life of drug dealers, though, didn't count?
No. See, we try to make it seem like it's a binary choice, one or the other. I'm saying that we have laws that we should follow.
Okay.
And the laws don't say do summary executions in international waters. I'm not protecting anybody. If they are doing what we say they're doing, we bring them in, we bring in their product, we prove it in the court, and we punish them like we punish anybody else. We don't say, oh, I think that car sure looks like the car of a drug dealer that I used to know, so we just gonna go ahead and blow it up because we know nobody buys 20s for their cars except for drug dealers, right? Nobody's sitting on dubs, nobody's carrying a...
Unfortunately, that's been used in real life way too much, unfortunately.
Nobody carries a pager unless you're a drug dealer.
Right.
All the way throughout history. It's everything we have said. It does not mean that that's what you're doing. And even if you are in that does not mean that you are the producer or the purveyor of that drug. Just like I say, just think if half of those people on those boats are just fishermen who have been forced by the cartels to make these deliveries, does that justify what we're doing?
No. And that's where the point should be made, is that even if they are drug boats, like you're asking, what if the cartel, just to see if a route is safe or not, force the actual people on the boat to run the route, maybe while they're holding their family hostage or something like that? Because we're killing folks. We could be literally killing innocent people. That is a really good point to be made, because if they know we're taking out drug boats, then they could force someone to make a run, and boom, because we're murdering them, we'll never know.
Listen, this is not like we're not having a thought process right here. These people on this live and around the country have no fucking idea of how these people move and traffic their product. They do not send their own gang members to move product. They use people who either have these boats or they create these boats for them, and they put them on there and they make them go back and forth. There's no gang members in the cartel that's like on the boat traveling hundreds of miles. That's not how they do it.
That's a good point. Anytime you catch a smuggler, we've seen plenty of people catching smugglers, drug runners, whether in the country or whether internationally. It's never anybody high up on the food chain. Anytime they catch somebody with a large amount of product on them in transit, it's always a runner. You're right. It's never anybody that's high up on the food chain.
Right. Remember Locked Up Abroad?
Yep.
Those are people who are moving stuff. They would get either drug mules or dummies who didn't know no better, or they would catch them up in some shit where they owed them money, and then they would get them to make these moves for them. That is the way cartels operate. But for these people to be like, well, we know it wasn't a fishing boat, so everybody on the boat deserved to die. It's just it's beyond their sentiment of they're pro-life and they're all about life and not killing people.
So let me ask you, do you think there will ever be any judicial accountability for any of this stuff?
No.
Wow.
Unfortunately, I don't, because America is the type of country that once we did so much bad, where, just like reparations, like it's like the amount we would have to pay back would be so great. We'll just be like, that happened in the past, let's pass some new laws so it won't happen again.
It would not have had to be great if they had done the shit in the beginning when you only had a few people to do it to.
They did do it in the beginning. Lincoln did it in the beginning, and then they blew his head off. And then the next president came in and took all of the land. Like, they did do it.
Yeah. I mean, if they had because now obviously the family tree that has an ancestry to the slave trade is huge. I mean, you're talking multiple generations down the line. But yeah, if you had done it in the beginning, you wouldn't have had that many people you would have had to reward. I mean, but now, yeah, it's great. People, there's 100. There may be 100 people tied to a single slave now.
And I bet you most of the people, because they don't teach it to you in school, most of the people who like, fuck that reparation shit, they don't understand that all of the owners got reparations.
Yeah. For losing their slaves, for losing their business.
Matter of fact, France just got finished paying Haiti just got finished paying back France in I think 2011.
That's really fucked up because Haiti ain't got it.
That's why they haven't never been able to do anything, because they've always had to pay France back for reparations. When they kicked France out of the country, France came back with the Queen of England, and they said, "Look, we'll let you keep your country, but you owe us for all of the slaves and all of the equipment and everything
to keep that debt going over the years, that's terrible. I mean, because that's one of the poorest. It is the poorest country in our hemisphere, and obviously France is the first world wealthy country to be taking money from. I mean, that's terrible to do that.
Bro, they made them take loans.
High interest rate, I'm sure.
Shit that they didn't even have. So they just kept giving them loans to make them repay. That stuff turned out to be hundreds of billions of dollars. And just think of what that money could have did if it would have stayed in Haiti. But no, these people on here talking about, I don't know what I'm talking about. If they would just Google it or pick up a book.
Well, the problem is in our country, we don't teach a whole lot of that shit. You got to go research it. I got to move it on, then, Cal. But yeah, certain stuff like that, for some reason, they make sure it never makes it into the history books.
Hey, the last thing I wanted to comment on is your boy's comment about he was talking about that China would, China and Taiwan. Look, China is picking up notes. They loving that we going out here doing what we doing, accusing other people of shit and blowing them up, because they are surely to use those same tactics.
I was just going to say that if China starts blowing up boats off the coast of Taiwan, we can't say shit. I mean, we ain't proven why we're blowing the boats up. If Xi Jinping or whatever his name, if he just says I blew that boat up because of this or that and it was a threat, and don't prove nothing, ain't nothing we can say to that dude.
And Trump ain't about to go to war with nobody except for people that he know that he don't got no competition from, like Venezuela.
Yeah.
Anybody else, he ain't trying to go to war with nobody. Even Kim Jong-un, he don't want to mess with him.
I don't disagree. Den Cal, thanks for coming through.
All right.
Appreciate it. In the comments, Buckeye says people that can speak English. What do you mean by that, Buckeye? Let me go straight back to the box real quick. Trump said he blew up a dock where they loaded drug boats. Yeah, I did hear about that. There was a strike on the sovereign territory of Venezuela today. So we now have struck a target on land in Venezuela. By the way, tap the screen, get us up over the 90,000 hump. I'll take the next caller at that. You people are not so bright, one of my viewers. Criticize. We're open for criticism. You guys know how the program is ran. By the way, if you're watching us on Facebook, Instagram, or TikTok, do us a solid, follow the program. Currently watching on YouTube, feel free to subscribe. You know, we are here most weekdays. We don't block, ban, or censor. We are MAGA friendly. Even though more of my callers are liberals than that lean right, we don't run from the right. We don't censor the right. We don't limit the conversation from the right. We don't deny your ability to speak or criticize. It's just, unfortunately, right now, Trump's president. More of the criticism is aimed at Trump than Biden, who's irrelevant at this point. So MAGA often runs away. But when MAGA's on the program, nobody's censoring your point of view. Looking in the comments, Kenneth Joseph says, educate us, please. I'm going to bring a caller up. Maybe they can do that better than me. What's America business in Venezuela? Depend on the day of the week. You asked that question there. I think it says Randall. Depends on the day of the week. I mean, one day our business is stopping harmful narcotics from entering America. The next day, it's apparently Venezuela has stolen land and oil from us. Trump has said that. Another day, it might simply be Maduro is an illegitimate leader. And we're here to liberate the Venezuelans. It depends on what day of the week. We haven't even went to Venezuela yet, went to war with Venezuela yet, and we've given multiple reasons for why we are down there messing with them, for lack of a better term. So it depends on what day of the week you're talking. We'll go straight back to the box. Moving on with Straight Talk. Good evening, Straight Talk. Welcome to the program. Now, we've struck inside of Venezuela. Now, Straight Talk, you've been very critical in the comments. Elaborate.
Well, I mean, you gotta stop, dude.
Why?
Stop.
What am I doing? What am I getting wrong?
Here's the deal. We have multiple reasons to attack Venezuela. Multiple reasons.
We got multiple reasons.
Listed them.
We got multiple reasons to attack every country on earth if we really orate it.
Okay. And sometimes we do, and sometimes we don't.
And is that wrong?
What do you mean? Is that wrong?
Is it wrong to just come up with?
Sometimes, if we have a reason, we should defend our interest.
What is
Would you agree with that or no?
We should defend our interests, but it doesn't always. It doesn't always have to be.
Interest in Venezuela.
Okay, it doesn't always have to be with lethal force. Is what I was trying to add. You can.
No, it doesn't. Y'all didn't like the tariffs. Y'all didn't like us doing it with tariffs, so now we're going to do it with guns and missiles and that kind of thing.
Well,
Venezuela lost in international court. They lost. They refused to repay our companies. We are now taking our money, our treasure back from Venezuela. Like it, don't like it, doesn't matter. We have a president that says, no. You lost in court. You were sued. You lost the lawsuit. We are now going to enforce the lawsuit.
What lawsuit are you talking about?
The oil companies that Venezuela signed an agreement with were American oil companies. And BP, I think, also is benefiting from this as well. We are seizing those tankers to get that money back out of Venezuela that they stole and refused to repay.
I've never heard this.
Because you don't read. You look at a headline. You do the same thing that your damn liberal brothers do. You don't care what the truth is. If Trump did it, it's bad. Y'all sitting here talking about China. Can you tell me what Evergrande is?
No,
you
but
China expert.
But wait,
Can you tell me what Evergrande
wait a minute. But before I tell you, no, I don't know what that is. I want to say this because Rooster asked a good question in the comments. You're using military force on behalf of a U.S. corporation?
U.S. interest, yes. We do it all the time.
Do we?
We do it all the time. We do it.
I'm not aware of that.
We are interdicting. By the way, do any of you know how much it costs to send people to drug treatment? Just one person.
Depends on how long they're in treatment, first of all.
That's right. And what is the success rate of someone going into drug treatment?
It's not great in the beginning.
It
also depends
on
on
how much are we supposed to spend of your money and my money because you made good decisions. You didn't make all that good of decisions because you believe this bullshit, but you at least made good enough decisions to not stop. Don't make me laugh.
What you saying?
Serious here. I mean, you made good enough decisions to not get yourself hooked on drugs. And yet you're going to sit here and tell me that because I'm a good father, I'm a good husband, I got a good job, I make good money, that now I've got to pay the price for all these bad decisions these people are making? No, Tim, I reject that.
Well, let me, okay, here's my rebuttal to that. I would agree with you on your premise, but the fact is, if you're a good father and that person that's hooked on drugs and has made bad decisions, without treatment may end up harming your child, then I think you should put your pocketbook above you shouldn't put your pocketbook above the safety of your child.
Threatening my kid? You're threatening my kid?
Hold on. Wait a minute. What I'm saying is, wait a minute. Before you play Rambo, let me just say this. These people are harming folks in our society. We're saying it costs too much money to treat them, so we let them be as they may, and they're harming all these thoughts and prayers and all this shit.
Let me ask you a question.
Sure.
You and me were out in a boat. The boat springs a leak.
Are we near Venezuela?
Yo, we are way past Venezuela.
Okay, thank
We're out in the deep ocean, okay?
Okay.
You and I noticed that the boat has sprung a leak. What's the first thing we do? Turn around and head back in, or do we deal with the leak that's coming into the water coming in the boat?
We got to deal with the leak.
That's right. And so the way we're dealing with the leak is stopping the flow of drugs coming into this country. Once we do that, then we can start worrying about getting everybody back to a healthy place again. We got too many drugs coming into this country.
Straight talk.
And by the way, one more thing.
Wait a minute.
before
Hold
I'll let you
on.
answer this.
Straight talk. Wait a minute. You really think that shit we're doing off the coast of Venezuela is really having any effect on drugs coming into America?
I happen to know that it is. It is raising the cost of drugs around. It is having an impact on the price.
Okay, what else?
Does that mean, hold on, does that mean that no one is getting high? No, that's not what it means. But it means if you raise the cost, if you raise the price of these substances, then maybe you make someone think twice before they start using it.
Yeah. I'd have to see some serious proof that those handful of boats that have been bombed is causing the cost of fentanyl to go up, because that would mean that predominantly Venezuela is a primary supplier of fentanyl to this country. I don't believe that's true.
It's not true. It's not true. And we're handling the supply of fentanyl to all of the world. We're handling that, but we're doing it through tariffs and those that you guys don't like. Now, again, I'm going to ask you a question again. Do you know what Evergrande is?
No.
Evergrande was China made 16 cities, full-ass cities, full of buildings that no one lives in. They are damn near broke. It almost broke their entire economy. They are in no position to be talking about doing this or doing that or whatever. Our economy is 4 times China's economy, and our military actually has weapons that work. China does not. That's why they haven't attacked Taiwan. Their weapons don't work.
Wait a minute. You really think that if China wanted to attack Taiwan, they couldn't do it? You're telling me they don't have
Couldn't do it. Could not do it.
You crazy.
Why haven't they?
No.
I'm telling you. Listen, I spent 8 years in the Army. I spent 8 years in the military. I know a lot of guys. And a lot of guys that are currently in the military, and a lot of people that are currently operationally, let's put it this way, they're currently in operations. You can tell when you have an operational weapon system and when you don't. You can tell when you have
what are you saying that what are you saying that Taiwan, if invaded by China, could stop that invasion?
The United States would slap China into the 8th century.
Under Trump?
It would absolutely 100%.
I don't believe that.
And by the way, Xi Jinping, he is having a hard enough time maintaining power. He is not thinking about doing something to Taiwan, dude. They are ready to skin him alive for letting their economy get as bad as it is.
They are literally playing war games in front of Taiwan's face right now.
They are talking about it. Yes, yeah. Guess what? About 35% of their weapons actually work. The rest of them don't. So if China wants to get froggy, I say let them hop.
I cannot believe you think that Taiwan could stop a Chinese invasion. I mean, listen, I got MAGA and independents and liberals in the comments. I've never seen a guy single-handedly drive the comments crazy. Even the MAGA people are not agreeing with you.
MAGA people can be just as wrong as anybody else, dude. I've been dealing with China for 18 years of my life, okay? During the virus that we just went through, y'all would not believe what happened to that country. If I sat here and explained it, you wouldn't believe me. And I have messages on my phone right now that tell me the entire story of what they were doing to their people.
I get all that, but the idea that Taiwan could stop a Chinese invasion just seems silly, though. I'm gonna tell you that.
They couldn't do it on their own, but we would stop it.
I don't believe that.
You don't think Donald Trump is going to tell China, y'all better get back to y'all's rice paddies. We're about to mud stomp you.
I think it's very similar. When me and Denkow were talking, and you were suggesting that, we didn't know what the hell we were talking about. I gotta agree with Denkow. I think that Trump is only going to get involved militarily with countries that have no shot at being able to put up any sort of resistance.
China is one of them.
Huh?
China is one of them.
Oh, hell. You trying to tell me that if we took on China, we wouldn't have many casualties?
10 minutes. Well, if they use nuclear
the
weapons.
Whole nation of China in 10 minutes.
100%. 100%. China is not a match for the United States of America. I know y'all want to make a boogeyman Y'all need to find somebody else. It's not China. It ain't China.
That's insane. The whole nation of China. You think they're that weak, huh? What are they weaker than
They used to talk about Russia that way. Remember that when we were kids? They used to talk about Russia that way. They got to keep you afraid of all these countries. That way they can continue making weapons and doing all the things.
So
y'all aren't wrong about all that.
So let me ask you, because folks suggest that it is America, Russia, and China that are the world's superpowers. Do you believe China's even a superpower?
No. And if you put their Dragon against the F-35, dude, it's not even close. We would knock them out of the sky before they even knew we were there. We proved that. Listen, we proved that in Iraq. Iran. Iran didn't even know we hit them until we told them on CNN. I mean, come on.
You're literally the first person I have ever heard suggest that China is not a superpower. In fact,
and I'll tell you why. Because you keep listening to dumb people. You keep listening to people that don't know what they're talking about and want to keep you scared.
well,
That's why.
I'm going to be honest with you. Most of the folks that are saying this has a hell of a lot of medals and stars on their uniform.
Yes, they love their job. It's their job. 100%. They would be totally unimportant if they didn't make you think that China was something, huh? What would we need? Why would we need Mad Dog Mattis and Raising Cane? Why would we need all those guys if it wasn't for some boogeyman out there?
China, not a superpower. I'm not saying that China is equally militarily to America, but not a superpower.
It depends on what it depends on what your definition is going to be. Superpower. If you're saying that the United States is a superpower, then China is not. If you are saying that the United States is out of the picture, then okay, China is a superpower.
Is Russia a superpower?
No. They can't even beat the Ukraine. Get that out of your mouth. That is not
Wait a minute. Hold on. Hang on. You and I both know if Russia and the Ukraine got into an uncensored or unrestricted war, because Russia has atomic weapons. If they really wanted to unleash all of their might on the Ukraine, that shit's over with. They are a superpower. They're holding back, just like when we went into Iraq.
Have you watched any of that war? Have you watched any of that on YouTube? The whole thing is played out for you on YouTube. You can watch all those battles if you want. They're damn near live streaming it.
I haven't seen any of those battles where
you need to educate yourself.
Hold on, let me finish. I've seen tons of the battle footage, but what I'm saying is I haven't seen any of those battles where Russia used even small thermonuclear weapons. If they use their nuclear arsenal, they could tear Kyiv and all of that shit up pretty quickly.
That is accepted. No doubt about that.
All right,
they are nuclear. They
are
a nuclear arm. Yes, but short of that. Are you suggesting that that's what they should do? Because in a land war, they can't even beat Ukraine. You're right. If they wanted to do whatever they wanted to do with their nuclear weapons, sure. The answer to the question is yes. China, same thing. They've got plenty to take out anybody they want.
And like I says, but the land wouldn't have any resources after the fact. That actually is not true, because just like we did with the Japanese, once we bombed Nagasaki and Hiroshima.
Totally different story.
Hear me out. You can rebut, but hear me out. What we did with Nagasaki and Hiroshima, we just had them thinking we had more nuclear weapons, and that was enough to get them to back down. The Ukraine knows Russia has more nuclear weapons, so you don't have to destroy the whole fucking country. If you take out Kyiv, the rest of it's going to back down. If all you need to show them is the resolve, we are capable of using this shit. Either you surrender or you vaporize. They're not going to keep fighting.
Because the United States would take out Moscow. Well, look, we're not going to sit there and let you use nuclear weapons and us not get involved in that. That would be very poor judgment. That'd be very bad.
You think if Russia used a nuclear weapon on Ukraine, Trump would get into a nuclear war with Russia over the Ukraine?
You're damn right.
Hell no.
What do you think he told India so they didn't attack Pakistan? What do you think he told them?
What he tells them?
How do you think he told them? and they took their finger off the button because they were about to launch.
Well, shit, he told us he had the largest inauguration crowd in history. The man tells us a bunch of shit all the time. And they got
India
nothing
believed
to-
him. India sure damn believed him. It doesn't matter if they don't think he's a liar. You do, but the rest of the world, they do not think the man is a liar.
What do you
Y'all
think?
take that sorry shit somewhere else.
What do you
'Cause
think?
The rest of the world does not believe Donald Trump is a liar, and
What-
that's a good thing for you.
What do you think? Do you think Trump is an honest man?
I do. I do. I think he told me everything he was going to do, and I think you're pissed off about it because he's doing it.
He tell you shit. He told you.
He did. Yes,
told-
he did. Every rally, he told me exactly what the fuck he was going to do, Tim.
24
Y'all seem surprised about it, not me.
He was going.
I ain't the one surprised about it.
He was going to end the war in 24 hours. He told you that, right? He's going to bring down
Yes,
grocery
and-
prices
and
on
let me tell
day
you
one.
about that. Hold on. Let me explain something to you. Because this is what you guys don't understand.
Okay, tell
The
me.
president was not aware. Number one, he's the only one trying to end the war, okay? He didn't see anybody else trying to end that war. What he was not aware of, and what none of us were aware of, you didn't know this, I didn't know this, was that the entirety of the Ukrainian government was getting paid, was stealing money from the war effort. 10 of Zelensky's top guys were getting hundreds of billions of dollars because of that war going on. The EU, all that, they're all making money off that war. And Donald Trump didn't understand that when he came into office. He thought everybody wanted to support Ukraine.
Didn't
Well,
Trump
he
come? Wait a minute.
support-
Didn't Trump come to office blaming Ukraine for starting the war?
Yes,
Is that true?
it is partially true. Yes.
How? What did you?
Because they had agreements with. Look, not everything is Russia's fault here. It's not all Russia's fault. And by the way, y'all are going to be surprised when you find out Ukraine lost about 80. I don't know how many, but it's going to be a much smaller country when this is all done next week.
I don't believe that either. But I can't totally disagree with you, but I don't think you're right. But how did Ukraine start the war? I want to hear this.
Well, look, he wanted access to the Baltic. He wanted a port in the Baltic.
Ooh, he talking about Zelensky?
Putin
How did? Okay.
wanted access to the Black Sea. He wanted access to the Black Sea. He was supposed to have access to the Black Sea, and they basically told him, yeah, piss off. And so he decided to take it.
So and somehow
You know
because
that
he told.
Ukraine used to, there's way more Russians that live in Ukraine than Ukrainians.
And there's probably more Mexicans that live in Texas or Arizona.
Right.
What does that mean? You give the country to Mexico?
No, but if they were going to go
Thank
to
you,
war,
Buckeye. Go ahead.
if they did go to war, if we did go to war, you could expect a certain amount of those people that are going to fight for Mexico. Not all of them are going to fight for. Every time you walk through, the south along
there
the
you go.
border,
Thank you.
for every flag you see, Mexican flag you see, you can count at least one or two people that are going to fight for Mexico.
Yeah, but that don't,
That's
I'm just the
skirmish.
point. I get that, but the point I'm making is just because you got a large population of foreigners in a country, because right now with the Iranian, I mean, with the Russia. Ukrainian war going on. A hell of a lot of Ukrainian refugees are in Poland now. That don't mean that Poland should be part of the Ukraine because of that shit. Okay, you got a lot of people in this country that are Mexican or from. Okay, but it's still fucking America. You got a lot of Russians in Ukraine, but this is still the Ukraine. Just because you got more of your people in my country, don't mean we got to surrender some of it.
Only within our lifetime. I mean, in our lifetime, it was part of Russia.
No, it was part of the Soviet Union, but the Soviet.
That's what I'm saying.
Right, but that's still their country. The Soviet Union was.
When they separated, Tim, there were agreements for their separation. There were agreements that they made with the Soviet Union, the motherland, with Russia, and they didn't live up to those. And they also made an agreement not to talk to the rest of the world about joining NATO, which they were talking about joining NATO.
And Russia made an agreement to never attack them. In fact, they were supposed to defend
as long as they
them.
did not become part of NATO.
Somebody in the comments, Mike G says this caller is 3 cans short of a 6-pack. What the fuck?
I don't think that they should insult you like that, but hey, look, it's your audience, dude.
I like the pushback, but he said caller. He didn't say host. So it would have been a good one.
He said caller. Oh, I got you.
It would have been a good one, but he clearly said caller.
You're not the only person on the left. I mean, you don't even know what woke is. You know what I mean? I don't understand how you don't understand what the definition of woke is.
Tell me what, as somebody who leans,
definition of woke.
as somebody who leans right, tell me what the definition of woke is.
When we talk about being woke, it is your inability to see anything other than things through a racially tinted lens. So if you see socially every single subject, everything possible through a racially or social lens, then you are woke. It's your inability to understand that there are nuance, that not everybody doesn't like you because of the color of your skin. I got news for you. Some people don't like you just because of your winning and sparkling personality. Now, that's not me. I love you. I think you are a hell of a guy. But you don't have to take into consideration someone's color in order to not like them.
Yeah, I like it, but that's not true. I think woke, as I stated, what you're saying is the wrong definition. I believe woke is akin to keeping your...
No, wait. You're under the misapprehension that's my definition.
Oh. What is your definition? What is your definition?
Well, I happen to agree with that definition, but the definition, when you were talking about this, I'm like, hey, it's a very good question. I have my idea of what woke is. Let me see what AI says. Let me see what the Webster's definition of woke is. And that's exactly what it came up. I'll tell you. The term woke originally comes from a phrase in African American vernacular, meaning to be aware of social and racial injustice. It was used within the black community as a warning to be vigilant. That's what you were talking about.
Okay.
Right?
I said keep your head on the swivel to what's going on. Yes.
You know what? Very good advice, by the way. I would 100% not argue with that. Okay? But in the mainstream adoption in the popularity is in the early 2010s. And by the late 2010s, early 2020s, the term is co-opted by conservative and right-wing political groups. It's often used as a pejorative to dismiss or criticize progressive ideas. And
or
those progressive ideas are looking at every single subject through a color or social lens. So you don't separate anything outside of that social everything has to do with color. So your definition of it is I was trying to say that is different than ours, but you wanted to know what the right's definition was.
I think for the right, it's just a term to demonize the left, to be honest with you. Because some of the issues regarding race are actually true. The right don't see minorities as dealing with racial issues at all. I don't think there's any well-known victim of racism or police brutality in my lifetime that members of the right were trying to say was not a victim of racism or police brutality. It doesn't matter who, unless it's a white victim, you guys don't see that stuff.
No, it's not true. And I mean, no, seriously, I worked for the Texas Department of Correction to get through college. Okay, I'm
just telling you, to you guys, George Floyd.
You're welcome to think that.
To you guys, George Floyd died of fentanyl. I mean, even Rodney King deserved a beating. I mean, you name it, you guys disagree with it. Colin Kaepernick was an insult to the United States. LeBron James should shut the fuck up and dribble. Anybody that talks about race, Sharpton and Jackson are race baiters. I don't know anybody you guys agree with.
You're forgetting half of the equation. You're forgetting half of the equation. Do you know all the white Rodney Kings, all the white George Floyds? I'm standing on the side telling the cops, whoop his ass. I love seeing that. If you resist the police and you're white, I want you getting a beating, and I mean a serious beating. Not a George Floyd lean on somebody. I want you to get a beating. I want that to last so you don't ever do that again. because you're putting my family, and you could be lily white and get that beaten. I am perfectly happy with that.
Straight talk.
So don't.
Unfortunately, it's a time issue. We disagree. God, big deal. We disagree as always, but it's a time issue. I do got to move it on.
Hey, does not affect how I feel about you. I guarantee you that. Every time I see your face, it makes me happy.
Really? Sound better than my ex-wife. I got to move it on, though, man.
All right, man.
Always a pleasure.
Have a great rest of your day, buddy.
You too. Thank you. By the way, folks, tap the screen, get the likes on up to 100, and make sure you get all your damn eyesight don't work right, and the numbers are small. Get your boy up to 110,000. Tap it's a peculiar flex. Tap the screen, get the likes up to 110 if you're watching us currently on Facebook, TikTok, or Instagram. Feel free to follow the program. If you're watching on YouTube, give your boy a sub. We're here most weekdays. We go left of Bernie Sanders to I'm having dinner with Q. We are MAGA friendly. Always been MAGA friendly. Always will be MAGA friendly. We do not block, ban, or censor or limit the opinions of anyone. And that includes MAGA. You can be critical of anyone on this program, and that includes yours truly. His superiors in whatever army he was in have failed him. That's a message to my last caller. He said whatever army he was in, his superiors have failed him. Suffer, what does it say? But it doesn't happen to the white people. Look, he stands by his comments, and I stand by my comments. I don't believe that. I believe that what I want to say, the bar, I'll say for lack of a better term, I believe that the bar for what right-wing America views as racism is so high, it's quite challenging to even cross it. I mean, most things that the left, particularly African Americans, see as racist, the right denies. I just think it's to the point where they almost do not see racism towards minorities. It's real. They see some, I guess, but most of the stuff that happens, like I played a clip last night with my last caller. With the last guy. I just played a clip yesterday where Trump was blaming blacks for most of the homicides of whites, and he was like, "I ain't really racist." He had a different viewpoint of it. So I really believe that stuff like that, right-wing America just does not see racism. But maybe that's my own failed view of it. Anyway, looking in the comments for people who have authority over your life, what are you suggesting there? Man, caller, next thing you gonna say is you was an astronaut. What he said, my last caller said he was everything. Come on now, and good evening, Emma. See you on the Facebook there. The police definitely don't treat everyone equally. And that's something right-wing America has a hard time admitting. In fact, as my last caller said, hell, it's white people that are getting the beatings. As Trump stated, white people get, killed by police more than blacks do. When you actually address the indigenous groups outside of your black anger, black anger. Do you believe the police treat the population equally, Tim? No, I do not. I think there are certain factors that can work to your detriment or your benefit. Now, obviously, you guys are referring to color. This is one reason why I'm not a fan of capital punishment or the death penalty. It's definitely handed out to people of color easier than it is to somebody white, but it's not just color. Finances matter. If you're wealthy, you're less likely to get the death penalty than somebody that's poor. You can hire better counsel, et cetera, et cetera. Probably got friends in the court system. So wealth is another issue. Number one, gender. I think gender matters even more so than color of skin. Women don't get sent to death row. It is very, very rare. I mean, there are actual websites devoted to showing you who was executed last. Hearing about women get executed is exceptionally rare. I mean, it's mostly black people, but there's plenty of white people that have been executed. Women, not much. So based on the fact that capital punishment is not handed down fairly, I can't support it. And I think the criminal justice system is like that as a whole. I mean, if you're a woman and you commit a violent crime, you're likely to get a less sentence than a man doing it. So, and then of course I mentioned black and white, rich and poor. So, no, I don't think the justice system is fair whatsoever. I don't. They rarely do crimes that call for bullshit. Straight talk. There are plenty of women in this country that murder people. Now, the majority of murders are committed by men, but there are still plenty of them that are committed by women. In fact, if you, as a male, take the life of your wife, you're generally going to be charged with murder. If a woman takes the life of her husband, the first thing they start at, well, was he abusive? Did he ever do anything? I mean, you're already giving her outs. I mean, they would never ask a husband that took the life of his wife, well, was she abusive? It doesn't fucking matter. I don't care if she's just hitting you over the head with a skillet every night. You don't have the right to, you should have left. You should have blocked. You should have ducked. You should have ran. I mean, you're not allowed to do no shit like that. So I actually believe that the way it's handed down is unfair. That's my opinion. You are certainly entitled to yours. Let me go back to the box. It wasn't designed to be fair. It was designed to keep you breaking the law. Yikes. You can buy your way out of a whole lot of shit in America. That is absolutely true. And I do believe that President Trump is making that more clear now than ever before. SGB 72 says, did you see the CCOT 60 Minutes that Canada released? Yes. I saw it the day it became news. Yes, that's something that makes you want to cry. If you can watch that and it doesn't tug at your heartstrings, you fucking cold as ice. Fucking cold as ice. To see them people getting sent and treated like that, many of them have done that. Look, if you come into America illegally, you get caught by immigration, you're game to be deported. That don't mean you should be sent to a violent fucking prison. I mean, yeah, I saw it and it hurt. It hurt to even watch that. It hurt to know that America, not only are we doing that to them, we literally are paying El Salvador to house those people. El Salvador is not doing that out of the kindness of their heart. We're literally paying U.S. taxpayer dollars to treat them like that. No. There's not an inch of me that can accept that and say that that's legit. I mean, to be honest with you, even if you're a gang member, I think that is ridiculously harsh treatment. But the idea that someone could go to a maximum security facility based on a fucking tattoo alone, as if there are none of us running around with tattoos from a life that we used to live. You don't think there are reformed Hells Angels or Banditos that still have tattoos on them from that era? You want to pick them up and throw them in prison because he still got the fucking tattoo? People got tattoos on them for eras that they don't change their mind and ways from all over the damn place. That has got to be the worst thing to use to convict somebody is a tattoo. Because a tattoo is permanent. Whereas your mindset and how you behave is not. You can change your ways and still have a tattoo on you. That's crazy. Let me go back to the box. I mean, it basically says there is no era or no room for reform because you got this damn tattoo on you. We got to punish you for it. Mike, good evening. Welcome to the program. People get tattoos and don't even know what they mean. That is fucking
Jesus Christ.
What got you in? What got you up in arms? My last caller?
Jesus Christ. That was a real live Coke member right there. Do you understand? Do you understand how delusional you have to be to say this is what woke is, this is what the definition of woke is, and this is what white people are going to tell you what woke is? Do you know how delusional that Straight Talk came up here and told you as a black man what the black man definition is, but we don't subscribe to the definition of what woke is? We're going to define it the way we want it, and now you're fucking crazy. And now you're crazy because you don't understand the way that the Republican Party has colonized woke to fit their narrative, and now you're fucking crazy. Think about what he just said, Tim, and if people find it funny, fine, but I'm being dead ass. This white man came up here and said, I understand. I have read it. I know what it means. I understand what it meant for your community, but fuck that. We're going to change it to this and tell you don't know what the fuck it means. That's exactly what he just did, Tim. He did it with that. This motherfucker said Trump is doing everything that I asked him to do, but he never once said he was going. Trump never stood in front of MAGA and said Venezuela stole our shit and we're gonna take it back by force. And if we gotta boom them motherfuckers, so be it. He never said that shit. Trump never told them.
I don't, to be honest with you, because we've been obviously doing shows for years, I don't remember Venezuela coming up in many Trump campaign speeches at all.
The only time he mentioned Venezuela is when he was talking about shithole countries that motherfuckers need to go back to. The man, listen. And I hope that people that support Trump, if you believe straight talk, I got a small boat to sell you off the coast of Venezuela to go fishing in. I bet you wouldn't do that shit. You motherfuckers listen.
You said I got a small boat to sell you off the coast of Venezuela to go fishing in. Oh my God.
Put as many fishing rods in it because it won't matter. Because check this out. This man, and first of all, China did do live exercises around Taiwan. Do you know why China's doing that? Because because of what Putin is doing over there and what he's doing in Venezuela. Does he think China's afraid of us?
Yeah, I said the same thing after seeing Trump threaten Russia 6 times. He don't threaten them, I believe, 6 times that if they don't stop with their invasion, that bad things are going to happen to them sanctioned, and Putin has not backed down and Trump hasn't done shit to them. If China wants Taiwan, in my opinion, this is the best time they have ever had to do that. Because, I don't believe, my last caller is talking about Trump would go to war with China over Taiwan. I don't buy that at all.
Listen, first of all, let's be clear. And he served in the military. Those are the motherfuckers that were defending us. Straight talk with somebody that served this country defending us. Think about that shit. Now, Tim, you know what our biggest vulnerability is? Cyber crime. Listen, this motherfuckers. I'm not worried about nobody dropping no nuclear shit. I'm not worried about that. That's mutual destruction.
Okay.
That's not. You don't have to do that.
Mutually assured destruction. Okay, that's mad. Fair enough. Fair enough.
Yeah, absolutely. But listen, Trump wants to be like Xi Jinping. He wants to be like Kim Jong-un and Putin. He's talking that big shit, but who really won the tariff war with China? Who really won the fucking tariff war? You know what China did? China pivoted. Some of our closest allies are now working around us.
Yeah.
What is he talking about? And by the way, isolationism is never going to work. He done pissed off our allies to the
you raise a good point. I said that on Liberation Day, that if we need other people attacking everyone at once with these tariffs, you're going to make folks not want to help us in times of need. I mean, he basically took on the world on that day. He was criticizing everybody from Canada to the UK to Australia. Like, you're criticizing all of our enemies, all of our adversaries, rather. All of our friends and adversaries simultaneously. Not to mention all the shit he said about NATO and all. Like, we need some allies. We need some allies. You can't attack everybody.
Tim, what did China say today when they did that exercise on Taiwan? I'm paraphrasing, but they said that this was a stark warning to Taiwan and those that support them internationally as well. Who are they talking to, Tim? Who is he talking to?
The West.
You goddamn right. But listen, Tim, let me ask you this. And you're a big man. What are you, 6'6", 300?
6'6", 300 plus. Yeah, 310. So,
okay.
Too fucking much.
You're significantly bigger than. If I was afraid of you, if I feared you, would I antagonize you?
I would think not.
What? Wait a minute. Because I'm talking about what Straight Talk said. Based on what he said, we wipe about in 10 minutes. See, that's how white men lose a whole front teeth. I'll kick your ass, buddy. I'll lay you down. I'll put you in a full Nelson, and that's how you lose your shit. Listen, if they were that fearful of us, Tim,
oh my God,
why would Russia? Putin ain't. Do you think? Jinping are afraid of Trump?
No. Because, like I said, well, to me, Putin has proved it. Because Trump has threatened him several times to back out of Ukraine, and he hasn't done so. Putin has proved his point. Xi Jinping is a different story, but Putin has proved that he's not afraid of Trump.
Well, and listen, I'm going to take the politics out of it because they say Trump says and the MAGA say Putin is a man's man. They showed him on a horse with his shirt off. All that shit.
Yep.
Do you threaten it? So if you're a man's man, what's the best way to get that man's man, I got air quotes up, to really want to fuck you up? Is if you threaten his wife. If you put his wife out there like they put Melania all over state TV. If you're afraid of somebody, do you do that?
No.
Do you do that, Tim? See, this is my thing. But when they get in these little MAGA coat pies and they stir up the MAGA coat shit and they add a little bit of conspiracy here and they add a little bit of white privilege there, you come up with straight talks. That's the cake you get right there. And you can call me slow all you want. But the shit you said made no fucking sense because you're the only one that I've ever heard say that China was not a superpower.
Yeah, well, and I told him the same thing. Straight Talk is still obviously still watching the show. He's referring to you as slow, but yeah, I said the same thing. He is literally on the right or the left because Fox News states that China is a superpower. He is the first person I have ever heard on any side of the political spectrum to suggest that China is not a superpower. And I told him when he said that, I said, even the MAGA viewers are saying you're not on the up and up in some of your statements. I mean, because he's MAGA, obviously. But even my MAGA viewers are like, what is he talking about?
Because that's the conspiracy. He might be more Q than anything else. Because the shit he's saying doesn't even register. You can't even make it make sense with what we're currently doing. We're not attacking China. I'm waiting for Trump to respond to what they did today.
Well, just to be brief, folks who are watching, we like Q as well. We do talk to Q. We've never ran from Q. We let Q speak uncensored as well. But keep going.
Yeah, but here's the thing.
Did my caller get a call? We'll give him a sec.
No, but that was a phone call. But no, at the end of the day, what he's doing, what he's done, what he said is absolutely foolish. If he thinks that they're afraid of us, if he thinks that somehow they're going to just roll over and kowtow to us,
when you got a call, he put in the comments, you got snatched.
Yeah. Well, listen, based on what they're doing to these people now.
Lord.
Last thing before I go, CCOT.
That's
all
horrible.
Those people are over there. But again, Tim, I told you that when it first happened. But listen, why are you surprised?
Yeah.
Listen,
Wait, hold on. Yes, I am fucking surprised. Look, I get that Trump leans right, and some of the things he does, people on the left, including myself, disagree with. The lack of empathy to the level that is coming from Trump and apparently MAGA as well. Yeah, that surprised me. I mean, these are Christians. These are God-fearing Christians that don't seem to give a shit about a lot of people. I never expected that. Yes, it is surprising to me.
Tim, then sadly, you're not far enough left because you can't tell me when they've shown you anything Christian-like. You can't.
Yeah, but they didn't. I didn't imagine it would be okay to kill people without explanation and to break up families like they're nobody over any little thing. Look, if somebody's in this country illegally and they've been caught murdering folks, yeah, you got to get rid of them. But they don't. There is, if you're here illegally, I don't care if you got if you're a grandmother with 30 people in your ancestors, you got to go. I mean, just no type of empathy at all. I just
Tim, they ran around the entire election saying that shit. Why are you surprised? Yes, sir.
It's a difference.
No, I'm going back in.
It's a difference between what people saying what they do, Mike. I didn't think it was going to be. I didn't think the empathy was going to be this low.
I don't listen. It's going to get lower. That's the sad part.
But for instance, the way they treated Kilmar Abrego Garcia, like you really would be okay sending this dude to Africa? He don't even speak the language over there. All this over tattoos. He don't have any convictions of any significance other than you think he was a gang member. You think he was trafficking. No proof, no convictions. Remember, Trump got 34 felonies, and we don't agree with the courts on that. This dude has none, and we're okay convicting him of stuff that we think he did and deporting him to Africa. The man got a whole family here. I don't understand that. I just don't understand that.
I don't understand why you don't understand. Because you can't tell me anything new. You can't tell me anything new. What's new?
I didn't see that. Maybe I just had my eyes closed. I've been talking to MAGA for years. I didn't see it. I didn't see folks being that less empathetic that you just don't give a shit what happens to people. I didn't see it like that. I mean, like I said, they're God-fearing Christians. Many of them go to church every Sunday. Like, okay, this person fucked up. Do you think they should die? Do you think they should end up in Africa where they don't speak the language? Just because he did this, you are okay with all of that? I didn't expect it.
And so what's your answer? And so what's your answer now?
My answer now is what what it says. What's that says in the comments. You sure fucking did. I don't know, man. My answer now is wow.
My answer now is, of course. That's what they told us they were going to do from the beginning. Nobody believed it. I did. They're just following their ancestry playbook, my guy.
So I'm gonna ask you this question because I asked it this earlier in the program. You see the monitor behind me says, "Are we great again? Are we great yet?" When they say "Make America Great Again"? In your opinion, what does that mean to you?
Back to Jim Crow, like I told you from the very beginning. Back to Jim Crow. Back to being able to say what they want, do what they want without any repercussion, and taking all the wealth. Their ideology is net zero sum. Giving something to someone else means that they feel like it's being taken from them, and they're not going to stand for that. So they don't give a fuck. Prove me wrong.
I don't want to get in a situation where I have to. It's just so frightening. You obviously are doing something. We'll pick it up another time, but it's just, man, this stuff is depressing, man.
It is, but yeah, we'll catch up.
All right, Mike. Thanks for coming through.
Later.
All right, moving on with the program, by the way, tap the screen. Just depressing some of this. I want this stuff to not be true. Straight talk in the comments. I'm going to say, I want what you're saying to be accurate versus what I'm hearing. I want folks to not be evil. I want what you're saying to be true, but I got to see it, and I'm just not. It is in our faces. Pledge allegiance to the flag is idol, I guess you said, like idolizing, and then sacrifice blood to it. It is either Trump's way or the highway to MAGA. Yeah, I think that's true. Statue of Liberty, Lucifer, the light bearer, the devil, transforms himself into an angel of light, but inwardly in all. Huh? What is that? At this point, they think God is a trans person. What the fuck? Really? Creed, what are you talking about? At this point, they think God is a trans person. You've been fluffing for too long. Wake up, says Blue One Banks. You guys have the TikTok cap go. Just no love tonight, huh? You guys have, show your boy some love. Help your boy out with the TikTok cap. TikTok hat mustache go. I'm hurt tonight. I'm hurt from the stuff I'm hearing. The lack of empathy thing really is depressing. Certainly the video I've seen of the CCOT. Been talking to MAGA for years. Since Trump came on the scene down in Golden Escalator 2015. This is not the first term. Trump 1.0 was not, in Trump 2.0 are like two different people. It's depressing to see them folks. And then they hear that, 60 Minutes obviously canceled the, and thank you, Fuzzer, appreciate that. And to see 60 Minutes try to prevent it from coming out, probably got a phone call from the Trump administration or something like that. JPT Farms, thank you. But it was depressing to watch that. I think the video's like, 13, 18 minutes or something like that. No reason at all to believe that stuff is not true. I believe everything I saw in that 60 Minutes piece. I really believe everything I saw in that. Blue One Banks, appreciate it. Thank you. Moving on, Fuzzer. Good evening. Welcome to the program. Angels in heaven neither give nor take in marriage, huh? I think y'all need to get up off the hating of on white folks, says Sterlo. Well, we don't want to hate anybody. Hopefully not. There's no hatred here. I get some viewers have passionate opinions, and I certainly call it out when I think I hear hate. Fuzzer, good evening.
Good to see you, Tim.
Good to see you as well.
Sorry, my cat's getting in my way. Hold on. My cat needs a little attention.
All right.
Anyways, so I want to basically mirror exactly what Michael just said. You have a white cracker coming up and telling you what woke means, and then what does he give you? The definition that a white cracker redefined it.
Now, wait a minute. I'm looking in the screen. Wait, Fuzzer. I'm looking in the screen. You look like a white man yourself.
I am. I'm a white cracker. What do you want me to say?
I got you're being heard on multiple platforms, so I want to put it in perspective to other viewers.
Oh, all right, yeah, all right. Yeah. I'm a white cracker with a bald head and a beard, and I'm old. I'm 50 years old and fat. So what do you want me to say? But you have this man telling you what woke means, and then he gives you the Lindsey Graham definition of it. And then he turns around and gives you the actual definition and says the Lindsey Graham definition is the actual one. That's just like the Christian religion saying, oh, wait, we don't want the Old Testament anymore. Yeah. We're going with the New Testament. The Old Testament sucks because it's being violent and racist and demonizing. No. God didn't change his mind. I'm sorry.
That's a good point.
That first book should be your book. You redefined what the Bible means, same idea. Anyways,
that's a
Seacock.
good point.
Let's talk about Seacock for 2 seconds.
Sure.
100%. The Eighth Amendment says cruel and unusual punishment. So basically, the punishment should meet the crime.
But wait a minute. What about the fact that they can use the excuse of saying that that's not happening on U.S. soil, so we can't control what they're doing to them? I think Trump tried to use that. You can't say we're treating them in a cruel and unusual manner because it ain't coming by way of Americans.
Right, yeah, so then we should have deported them to Venezuela, where they're from, right?
Well, Venezuela, I believe, wouldn't take them back, and I think that was the problem. Is that
all right? Well, then there are problems. If we're paying El Salvador, we're paying them to violate our Constitution. Is that what we're saying now?
That's a good way. That is officially. I mean, we would come up with a different way of phrasing it, but officially, that is what is happening. That's exactly what they're doing.
Here's $9 million, so we don't have to violate. I mean, it's no different than Gitmo, basically, except for we did our dirty work at Gitmo. We're paying someone else to do our dirty work. And when you're talking about that, it's literally a misdemeanor on many of them. Yeah. Literally just a misdemeanor and a tattoo.
Yeah. I don't get why, I don't get why they have to go to prison. I mean, look, if you're going to deport them, they're in the country illegally. But to knowingly deport them to a maximum security facility, I don't get it. I don't understand why that is necessary, other than to just intentionally be cruel as a deterrent to future people that were trying to come here illegally.
Right, and it makes no sense. Fortunately, most of those people are getting representation. I did talk to an attorney that says they are working on getting them back, and some have come back. Brago Garcia is not.
Didn't the judge just order all of them be brought back?
It may have. I have heard that. I'm not sure if that is happening or not, but I have heard that it is a possibility. I don't know.
Yeah, I think it's 100 and I think it was 174 of them, but I think they ordered. Yeah, they ordered that they all be brought back.
Yeah, and it's crazy. I mean, it's crazy. This is not our America. Tim, me and you did not grow up in this. We grew up at the end of the Cold War, and that was a lot better of a time than what we have right now.
I don't totally agree with you. I'll tell you why. Because we're now living in a time where you actually have access to the internet and a lot more world news, so you know what's going on. I don't know if it was going on back then, but I'm going to say that if it was going on back in the 70s and 80s when we were growing up, they could have kept it under wraps a lot easier. But now you got access to a lot more international media and things. Like, for instance, America could tell you whatever they want to about Gaza, but you got access to Al Jazeera, BBC, and Sky News, and a lot of people that are over there. So you got more access now to go around what, because America had us believing that all Africans were bloated bellies and flies on their faces. But now you can see people walking down the streets of African cities and realize it ain't as bad as we've been told. So you can go around the propaganda.
No, I couldn't agree more. I think why? What the fuck did your cup say? What does that say?
It's the Gaston flag. Oh, it's a company. It says "Don't tread on me," but it's a coffee company.
Don't tread on me. What the fuck is wrong with you? This is why people don't believe anything you say.
What? It's right behind me. It's also behind me on the wall.
I know it is. You got Trump. You got Vance. Don't tread on me. You got MAGA hat. No one believes you. This is why you're called an Uncle Tom all the time.
Oh my God! You started the program off by telling me a white man corrected woke. And now you a white man calling me an Uncle Tom. What the fuck?
I just said that's why people do. I'm not calling you that.
Okay. All right. Well, you got a hell of a lot of black people in the comments going bingo and I agree and shit. What the fuck? Listen, I'll tell you. And by the way, let me get my other hat here. No, that ain't it. I got my liberal.
I love Tim. I'm not calling him an Uncle Tom.
Yeah, but to speak on that, since everybody in the comments like truth and bingo. Look, the MAGA. Well, first of all, Vance and Trump's portrait are there simply because they're the vice president and president. This is a political show. Whoever the next president and vice president is, they will replace them. But the MAGA hat is there to just let viewers know, because I do believe that conservatives, Republicans, and often MAGA do not get a fair shake on a lot of media outlets. They get canceled and blocked a lot. So the MAGA hat is to let them know when you come on this program, you will get a fair shake to speak your opinion. We don't have to agree, but I'm not going to censor you. That's why we have the MAGA hat here. It has nothing to do with support of MAGA. It has support of free speech, and that is including the speech of MAGA. But yeah, people see a black man with a MAGA hat and they go ape shit. They do not like that. The minute they see a black man with a MAGA hat, they just think I'm a hardcore Trump supporter, and that's not the case.
The term "blagga," that one gets me. That one, it's like, what the fuck?
Yeah, I didn't know that until people started correcting me. I just called them Black MAGA. People started saying blagga. And by the way, Black MAGA is still pretty happy with Trump.
Yeah. I mean, well, as much as they were, their numbers have gone down a little bit, but not much. Yeah. Hispanic numbers have gone way down.
Yeah, well, because you see, better yet, the Hispanics see what's happening to their communities. I don't think the African American community, there are people paying the price. Government jobs have fired a lot of black females and unemployment rates and stuff like that, but they're not seeing the gruesome pictures that the Hispanic community is seeing. I can absolutely see that because the Hispanic community believed that Trump was going to get rid of the worst of the worst immigrants in this country that was ruining their reputation. I'm Mexican, he's Mexican. If he's a murderer, get him out of here because he's making us all look bad. They didn't realize Trump was going to go in there and try to get rid of all of you folks. He went way beyond what they thought he was going to do.
Yeah, no doubt about it. And it's not stopping. There's another 3 years unless we get the Capitol. Basically, we need both branches to stop what's happening.
Well, the courts could do something. I mean, you've had a few.
He owns the courts too. He owns the courts.
Yeah, but they've been shooting down some of his stuff. Just like you're starting to have a few Republicans, because the Republicans voted to release the Epstein files. There's a couple things where the Republicans have sided with the Democrats. Like, for instance, this whole suspending of healthcare subsidies. You're probably going to start getting Republicans that are going to bend on that because, look, Trump is only going to be around for another 3 years. You guys, many of these congressmen and senators plan on being around 10, 20, 30 more years. You ain't going to survive following this guy with all this stuff.
Yeah, no doubt. Well, I mean, I think the separation is happening. I think the Republican Party is starting to separate from MAGA. I think they are.
Well,
they're
if
trying to
Trump loses in the midterms, you're going to see that a lot more clear.
Oh, no shit about that. Yeah. I mean, that's 100%. You guys, Tim needs 9 more hats. We can get him 9 more fucking hats.
Thank you.
Now look at that bald head. It's winter time. Are you still in Chicago? I think you're in
Yes,
Chicago.
I'm in that area. I'm in
Yeah,
that
it's
area.
fucking cold in Chicago right now. Give him a goddamn hat to warm his head. Goddamn.
I appreciate the plug. Thank you. And that blue one, Banks always showing up. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. We're a little bit bald headed here. We're a little bit bald headed. Thank you.
Hey,
Yes.
we got to do what we got to do, right?
Hey, whatever works. I appreciate that.
Hey,
Yo,
man, so I only run across you on other platforms usually. Me and you run into each other in conservative platforms. So I haven't been up in a while. So it's good
Kabira,
talking to you.
thank you. And straight talk. Yeah, normally when I'm not in my own life, I'm almost always in a MAGA oriented life. I don't go on a lot of liberal
Dude.
platforms. So usually I'm
Fucking
in MAGA.
lumberjacks, man. Lumberjack. Dude, stay away from that dude.
Lumberjack, what is the other guy? AJ. I go to Natalie has one. I'll go to as long as MAGA is somewhat civilized. Because I do get cussed out. I get called all kinds of names and things like that. But I got thick skin. But yeah, as long as they're civilized, that's where I prefer to be. Because
No, I go in there too. I go into those. Obviously I know Lumberjack. Me and Lumberjack are mutuals, and he'll defend me sometimes. But he's an ass, man. He is an ass. I don't care. Are you familiar with Montana?
the state or some human being.
No. She's someone. Check out her live. She's pretty numb.
Montana.
But
Never heard. How about this real quick before you continue? In the comments, Straight Talk, who I was talking to a few callers back, says Trump will be around for at least 2 more terms. So that's what, 11 years? What is he gonna be the next? What is he gonna be the male version of Betty White?
he's not even going to be alive today.
Right.
This term.
Yeah, what? And I say the same thing. Listen, there are plenty of folks that would favor giving Trump a 3rd term. I'm not going to say it's impossible with the way the courts, the Senate, and Congress are. But as I keep saying over and over again, you can't beat Father Time. The guy is 80 years old this year. The idea that even if he does a term in 2028, people believe that Trump is capable of doing another 7 years, and he's talking a 3rd term. He's talking about a 3rd term. That's insane.
Yeah, he's not going to make it through these 3 years. The next 3 years, he's not going to make it. There are serious health issues. I could get into what's happening with there's injections. The bruises on his hands are IV bruises. I guarantee it. That's why I switched hands.
But do you believe his health? Do you believe his health is fair? I mean, there are people out there suggesting that Trump is going to croak in the next year or less.
Yes.
You believe that?
It'll be before the term is up, yeah.
You don't think Trump will actually live through his term?
No.
Wow. What?
No, not with what I see. I'm in healthcare. And with what I've seen, we get a whole conversation that's way too long. Maybe we'll talk about another time. The things that are happening with the IVs and stuff in the 2 different hands, all up here. And it matches with the MRIs. We'll talk another time, Tim. But I
No
can't
shit.
get into it right now.
Wow. I would love to. Yeah, I would like to take a deep dive into that. I mean, because there are people. I'm seeing people from the medical community making videos constantly saying that.
Yeah, and then you have the swelling of the ankles. That's CHF.
What is that? What does those acronyms mean?
Congestive heart failure.
Wow.
He's not going to make it, Tim.
Now, I will say this because I defended Biden throughout his term, constantly suggesting that the right was wrong because they were diagnosing Biden through the television, and it turned out I was wrong. Biden does have problems. Now, MAGA is now doing the same thing with Trump. MAGA is now indicating that even though Trump is falling asleep on TV and in public, that he's fine. They're doing the exact same thing with Trump. And by the way, Trump, when he got inaugurated last January, he was the oldest president to ever have that happen. So he is older than Biden. He is older than Biden when Biden was in office. So, but not living through his term. Wow.
Biden was still riding bicycles. He may have fallen over. He was still riding them. This motherfucker can't stand. He has to sit through all of his press conferences. And that's why he does them all in the Oval Office. He sits. He can't stand there while they're glazing him. Well, maybe he has to be at eye level for the glaze. Maybe that's what it is. I don't know.
Right.
But no, he sits for everything.
In the comments, Boo Boo says, who said that? Boo Boo says, when did he fall asleep? You haven't seen the videos of Trump falling asleep? There's multiple times. Just put Trump asleep in Google or in YouTube, and there was plenty of videos of that. Now, I'll tell you why you probably haven't seen that. You watch right-wing media. Right-wing media will show you Biden falling asleep all the time. They don't show that. They don't cover that on the 5 or Outnumbered or any of those networks. But if you watch independent or liberal media, you can easily find that shit. But yeah, Trump is falling asleep in meetings.
Rubio was literally sitting right beside him, glazing him as hard as he could, and he fell asleep through that. Rubio's sitting right next to his ear, and he fell asleep through that. But Tim, I'll let you go. I've been here. I'm taking up a lot of time, but it's always good talking to you, brother.
Anytime, Fuzzer. Thanks for coming through.
Right,
Appreciate the plug as well. Thank you. By the way, tap the screen. We'll go ahead and see if we can get it up to 150. Trump leans more than the Leaning Tower of Pisa, says Rottweiler. Oh, my God. He just stood for 2 days with Zelensky and Netanyahu. Caller is an idiot, says Draco. Listen, he stands. I'm not going to say he can't stand. I hope he's not about to die. But there's a lot of folks making videos suggesting that that's about to happen. But then again, look, when Biden was president, the right said a whole lot of horrible things about his health that were, look, Biden in the June 27th debate of 2024, we clearly could see that he wasn't, he didn't do good at all. He didn't do good at all. But the way the right was, I want to say, describing Biden was overkill. Because Biden has had speeches since he's left the Oval Office, and he still is, for the most part, able to communicate and shit like that. And the right was making him sound horrible. Now that they're doing it to Trump, the right don't like it. Look, there is a such thing, karma, and what goes around comes around and shit like that. You did it to the last guy. Don't hate. Just like when, Charlie, you laugh at Nancy Pelosi's husband, the guy breaks in his house. All of a sudden, Charlie Kirk, something happens to him is wrong. And then the minute something happens to, what is his name, Bob or Rob Reiner or whatever, boom, we're right back where we started from. So, look, there is a such thing as where what goes around comes around. Anyway, looking in the comments, Biden was just boarding a plane in Miami looking good, says Pink Pineapple. Look, even though I'm no spring chicken, I don't think there's any way to look when you're Biden's age but good. Just the fact that you're still alive at that motherfucking age, you look good. If you can stand in your mid-80s, you look good. I don't care what you look like. So many of us don't make it to the mid-80s. What is he, 83, 84? If you're around at that age, you look good, period. Because you're well beyond the lifespan of a human being. You look good to me at 80. Shit. Because I don't know if I'm going to get that. You understand that the first hit in the catastrophically lack of new insurance will be red states. Whole counties will be maybe one hospital, maybe not. Is that some things that you want to have happen? Oh, you're talking about what's going to end up happening with the removal of the Obamacare subsidies. Yes, to me, that don't sound good at all. That does not sound good at all. You're right. A lot of that's going to affect red America. A lot of this shit, that a lot of things that Trump has done that the left is criticizing and the right is celebrating, I think that's been kind of the method of operation for a lot of this stuff, is that it's okay because it's all of this shit is okay when it don't affect you. It's only when it comes back. You got farmers, well, he wasn't supposed to do that to us. You got so many people saying that. I didn't think it was going to happen to me. Everybody voted for this, what did I call it earlier, lack of empathy. Everybody was okay with the lack of empathy as long as it happened to somebody else. Okay, well, you are now officially somebody else. All Trump has is insults, no policy, says Rhonda. Well, look, his executive orders are somewhat his policies. He don't need a policy when Congress is not getting in the way. The problem, though, is if Congress does not codify the stuff he's doing, think you already know where I'm going with this. The next administration is just going to get rid of that shit. Gulf of America will become the Gulf of Mexico again. The Department of War is going to go right back to the Department of Defense. If you don't get Congress to back this stuff, his name will be taken off the Kennedy Center, et cetera, et cetera. All of that stuff that he's doing by executive order, that stuff's going to go away. Unless he gets Congress to actually, put some meat and potatoes on the plate, all of that stuff's going to go away. He's done so much by executive order that could easily be wiped out. Hell, they may take the fucking ballroom back down. Who knows? But if he doesn't get some kind of congressional stamp on that stuff, the next guy can do to him what he happily did to the last guy. He happily used his executive powers to overturn everything that Biden and Obama did. You can expect the next liberal to repay the favor. I think that even a conservative, if it's not the likes of maybe Vance or Rubio, even a conservative in the future may overtake some of his stuff, because some of that stuff is exceptionally controversial, like getting rid of whole departments or USAID. I could easily see some conservative in the future thinking that some of these departments, we may have gotten rid of too many people. Whether it's the NOAA, national organ, the weather, the people who tell you all of the cuts and all of that stuff. I can even see some people on the right saying that some of this stuff we kind of actually need. Getting rid of environmental safety protections and things. We might need some of this shit. So we'll have to see what ends up happening. Straight Talk says you do not want your government responsible for your health care. We had that conversation, and I tend to be one that wants a healthy push and pull environment. I don't want government to be in charge of everything, but I damn sure don't want the free market or corporate America to be in charge of everything either. Both sides are corrupt if you give them infinite power. If you let the government run everything, yeah, they can be corrupt. If you let corporate America run everything, they're going to absolutely be corrupt as well. You need both sides with a push and pull of some type. So government intervention and some business, free market business involvement. So I want both. Because if you leave everything up to corporate America is only focused on bottom line, which is money. If you don't have people who don't have money is not going to get access to their goods and services. And we're talking about healthcare. We're not talking about, the latest and greatest car or a pair of pants. We're talking about healthcare. Broke people should not be just tossed aside. The free market ain't gonna fuck with them. You need the government. Like, for instance, right now, our government makes it mandatory that if you show up to an ER, you need life-saving care, they have to treat you. You think if the government stepped out of that, they would do that on their own? No. They would discharge you. They would kick you out. Without the government forcing them to treat you at ERs, you wouldn't get that either. They would kick you out. So, no, I think you definitely need some government protections as well. Anyhow, appreciate the 145,000. Thank you guys for tuning in. As you know how the program is ran, we don't block, ban, or censor anyone. We always are MAGA friendly. Nevertheless, liberals are welcome. If you enjoy this type of dialogue from all sides of the aisle, follow the program if you're watching on Facebook, Instagram, or TikTok, and give your boy a sub if you're watching on YouTube. Nevertheless, you guys take care. See you tomorrow. Thank you on YouTube as well. Catch you guys later.